All right, final night of competition, final session in the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Championships. At this time, I ask that you all please rise for this evening's singing of our national anthem.
That you guys switch so he can run production truck while you're interviewing. So he's okay.
All right, just about a minute and a half away to get started here.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final night of competition here at the IU Natatorium on the campus of IU PUI for the 2019 Indiana Swimming Age Group Long Course Championship, sponsored by Speedo and Hendricks Regional Health. I'm Eric Eaton, and I'll be joined on the broadcast here by Adrian Jarding and also Tony Young, the Executive Director of Indiana Swimming. Our first event here this evening will be Event 73, the fourth and final heat of timed finals for the 13-14 girls in the 1,500-meter freestyle. Lane assignments: in lane 1, Addison Knobloch, a 13-year-old from the SWAC swim team. Lane 2 is Jillian Lynham, 14-year-old from the SWAC swim team. Lane 3, Aaliyah Decker, 14-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 4, Tegan Madara, 13-year-old from Power Aquatics. Lane 5, Claire Parsons, 14-year-old from Terre Haute Torpedoes. Lane 6, Emily Buning, 14-year-old from Washington Township Swim Club. In lane 7 is Jordan Kozik, the 14-year-old from Concord Swim Club. And in lane 8 will be Chrissy Bazin, 13-year-old from Mount Vernon Swim Team. Your meet record set in 2007. The time is 17:24:19. Association record goes way back to 1983, 16:49:82. This is a timed final event. Nalini Cortez has posted the top time from prelims this morning from Club Olympia. That time is 17:56:03. And so we get the final heat of time finals for the 13-14 girls 1,500-meter freestyle underway. It's a 30-lap race. And the top seed here in this final heat is Tegan Madera from Power Aquatics, 18:32:65. And I'll be back with you from time to time here with updates at the at the 400, 800-meter marks, 1,200, about every 400 meters here. Give you an update here. I'm going to turn things over now to Adrian, and he's going to have a special guest interview with Keely Underhill of the Carmel Swim Club, also one of the meet directors for this meet.
Thank you very much, Eric, and it is a pleasure to be alongside Keely Underhill, who is also one of our meet directors, and here in spirit is Wendy Bergsma. First off, Keely, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right, Adrian.
Awesome.
Pleased to be here.
Love to hear it. This has been such a great weekend of racing, a lot of fast swims and a lot of excitement from the kids, but from your perspective, how has the meet gone?
I think overall it's gone very, very smooth. I have to say that Age Group State as a swim mom is one of my very, very favorite places to be. The energy on the pool deck has been absolutely awesome. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere at Age Group State. The swimming has been ridiculously fast, but what makes it very memorable is the true excitement on the pool deck, the relays, with the kids getting all into everything, the team bonding, the costumes, the friendships that kids make across teams. It's the epitome, really honestly, of what makes swimming so fun.
Absolutely. As somebody who was an age group swimmer myself when I was younger, this was always one of the highlights of my swimming career. Always looked forward to, like you said, those relays. There's nothing like being there for your team at the end of a meet. Throughout the entire you work up towards that throughout the entire course of the season. Now, for a meet of this stature, obviously, people come here and they expect a great show, but there are a lot of logistics that have to go into it, and I'm not sure people quite realize the extent of what all goes into it. What does all go into a meet, putting on a meet of this caliber?
You hear everybody talk about it takes a village. It definitely takes a village to run a meet of this size. There are 971 athletes. We have 73 teams from across the state. We have over 50 officials from all over the state as well. The natatorium staff that takes care of this world-class facility, they've done a fantastic job all weekend. Wendy and I started planning with Indiana Swimming back in May, and then just the countless hours that the host club puts together along with the community support from our sponsors to keep things just rolling. It's the village that you hear about.
Absolutely. It certainly takes a lot of people, and like I said, I'm not sure there are many people out there who realize the extent of what all goes into this. Now, from your perspective, you've obviously been a parent for a long time, but what advice would you give to the younger parents out there who are still kind of new to the sport?
So this is my 10th swim season. I have my daughter is just graduated from high school, and she will tell you to this day that Age Group State was one of her very, very favorite meets. I think the important thing as a parent is to show our children that we support what they do. And one of the easiest ways to do that is give our time to the things that they love. There are ups and downs in swimming at all ages. No matter what, the biggest thing is to continue to be positive with them and for them, and to focus on why they love the sport and what got them into that sport in the first place. Keep them smiling. Last thing you say to them every time before you see them leave to go to the pool deck is have fun, because that's what it's about. And again, back to this meet, that's what it's all about on this pool deck this weekend.
One of the most underrated things to me is just the importance of parents being there for all their swimmers. And I want to thank you very much for everything that you've done this weekend. It's been a marvelous show, and really looking forward to finishing it off strong here tonight.
Appreciate it.
As we turn it back over to Eric.
All right, thank you very much, Adrian. As we come back to racing now here at the 400-meter mark, we see the leader making the turn here at the starting block end of the pool. That's Aaliyah Decker, 441.71. Second place, Claire Parsons, 446.07. All right, Eric Eaton and Tony Young back with you now. Thanks for Adrian with the interview with Keely Underhill. As headed down to the far end of the pool right now, we're watching our leader here. It's in lane number 3 from Aaliyah Decker, the 14-year-old from Lake Central Barracuda, is about ready to turn and complete her 11th lap of the race on this 30-lap race. The 13-14 girls final heat of the 1,500-meter freestyle, the time final. And Tony, Nalini Cortez in prelims this morning posted a very respectable time, 17:56.03. So I expect that time may factor in for the overall race win here this evening.
I agree, and 36.30 for Aaliyah, and on that last split really puts her right almost dead even with Natalie throughout the competition. She's got a nice stroke tempo. So it looks like she's really approaching her first 800 very strong, really trying to get into a consistent rhythm right off the bat. Not worried so much about building through this particular race, but she just likes to be in a rhythm. The way it looks at this point in time, coaches seems to have her kind of dialed in at this point in time. So we're going to kind of see if we can kind of find out how we can compare the athletes that are not in the pool to the athletes that are in the pool.
Is Leah, that last turn completed 600 meters. Second place in this heat right now. The scoreboard, I think it was, no, they took it down. We'll check it at the far end here. As the rest of the swimmers well behind Decker so far in this final heat of time finals in the 1,500. Second place is Claire Parsons in lane 5 right now in this heat.
You and I both know, though, leads aren't necessarily safe in the 1,500. No. And then there are about 3 swimmers, a couple body lengths back behind Claire Parsons. Basically a 3-way battle for third, lanes 2, 4, and 6. You got Lynham in 2, Dara in 4, and Buning in 6. Well, I'll kind of give you a comparison. Aaliyah right now is an 8:20.23. Natalie at her 700 was 8:17.37. So coach has probably got the splits on his clipboard and trying to get Aaliyah to maintain a strong back half here. So both athletes actually are swimming the 1,500 almost by themselves. And I don't mean that there's not other kids in the race challenging her to be out front. Point is that they're so far ahead that they really have to focus on themselves. And the same thing with Natalie. When she was out in prelims, or excuse me, the early heats, she was out there by herself as well. So both athletes, instead of swimming head-to-head, are kind of virtually racing each other in this particular heat.
Now, the coaches would have known, Tony, that Nalini obviously posted a very respectable time in the prelims this morning that could factor in for the overall win. Would they talk to their athletes before this race saying, hey, this is what we're going to need to stay on pace to try and win, to compete with her time?
Well, and it kind of depends on the coach's strategy. Sometimes they just want them to go out there and race and not worry about somebody else. But if you're going to give them a target, that was a good target to set. So 9:30.02 was Natalie's time at the 800. And again, 9:33.18. So that 2.5, 2.7 second difference. But she came off the wall pretty aggressive there after this 800. Almost looked like she picked up her tempo just a hair. So let's keep an eye on the 36.46 range. Natalie was right, 36.3, 36.2 on the back half. She was averaging just about that 36.5 range. So the athletes are so comparable on their splits when we're looking at the splits from the morning comparing to the splits at night. So let's see how Aaliyah approaches this 800, the back half from the 800 all the way through the end of the race. So she's a 36.62. And, when I'm looking at the splits, I mean, these young ladies, if they were swimming against each other right now in the same pool, they would be mirroring each other. That's what it would look like at this point.
You got a good battle for second here in this heat, still being held by Parsons in lane 5, but in lane 2, Lynham is right with her in a pretty good battle for second in the heat.
And sometimes when you're out there on your own, it's like you've got to kind of feel the rhythm on your own. There's nobody to race against. You got to feel like you're almost within practice. So that's 36.7, 10:46.53. It's like she's holding very steady. And her best time coming in, 18:37. And we know that just on the pace that she's in, if we were going to estimate where she'd be at the end, she'd be way ahead of that time. So it looks like Natalie broke 18 minutes, which is a pretty solid swim. So
17:56.03.
let's see if Aaliyah can push that 18-minute mark as well. 36.41, so she's right in there.
As Aaliyah heads back to the starting block end, it'll be the completion of her 20th lap. It'll be the 1,000-meter mark. It'll be 500 meters left in the race.
I mean, she's looking very strong. And you watch her that she breathes every 3, so she's getting good rotation to both sides of her body. Not overusing her legs at this point.
There she makes the turn through 1,000 meters. Aaliyah Decker, the 14-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas.
11:59 compared to 11:55 for Natalie. So she's hanging right in there tough. If she's got a good, strong back 4, last 400, last 300, she could bring that time down and be pretty darn close. So
looks like Tegan Madera in lane 4 has caught Jillian Lynham, the swimmer in lane 2, for 3rd place. So we'll see if Madera might be making a move here in the back half.
Claire Parsons over there in second, right?
Yes, at this race.
So let's see who Madera. Tegan popped off a 36.8 on that 50. So as we're watching the athletes and we're calling off these split times, we're watching and using those times on the scoreboard for us to virtually know how the athletes are approaching their races, when they're picking it up. We can eyeball it somewhat, but when we see it on the scoreboard, we know that the athletes are starting to pick up a race in the middle of the race. Their race strategy is strong on the back half or the middle 400. So whatever their coaches are working with them on, we can kind of use the scoreboard to gauge what we see from the stands.
Decker will come through 1,100 meters at 13:12.49.
36.50 on that split.
And Madera has passed Lynham and now maybe trying to inch up a little bit on Parsons for that 2nd spot here in this heat.
Claire, 36.48. She's actually the fastest swimmer in the pool right now in 2nd place. So she kind of saw her competition coming up on her right side and answered.
Claire Parsons in lane 5.
You know, this is one of the races where we're seeing a lot of races within the race. In particular, our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. All of those athletes have a really good shot at catching each other on the back half of this swim or maintaining that lead. 36.44 for Aaliyah Decker, so strong swim. I mean, she's right within tenths of seconds of every 50 split.
She'll get ready to complete 1,200 meters this time at the starting block end.
I'd say keep an eye on Claire Parsons here. We still got a long way to go in this race. I don't know if she's going to pick it up that much, but she looks pretty strong right now. 36.67 for Decker. Let's see what Claire Parsons looks like on this split. $36.19. I thought she started to look like she was getting stronger on the back half, so about 5 seconds, tenths of a second faster than anybody else in the pool right now, but that's quite a distance she's got to make up.
We'll think that probably at this point, if swimming those type of lap times, that Decker will probably have to come back to her.
And sometimes within the 1650 or the 1500, it's about not necessarily you going slower or going faster. It's about just not going slower. It's about maintaining that pace. It's tough for anybody else to get that much faster when you've got a 20-yard lead, 20-meter lead in this case. Leah Decker just does not want to falter. Right now she is holding right within that 36.4, 36.5 range per 50 split. Still holding her stroke pattern. Good stroke rate.
1,300 yards or 1,300 meters now complete.
She is at 15:38.67. Right about even as Claire Parsons. I mean, they're both 36.5 on those splits. And to your point, they do have to, an athlete would have to come back to you a little bit. It has to be kind of a double-edged sword there. you pick it up in the other ad, but doesn't look like Aaliyah Decker is going to drop off at all.
Yeah, she'll get the bell next time at the starting block end, singling 2 laps to go. And again, the time to beat, 17:56.03, posted by Nalini Cortez from Club Olympia in the prelims this morning.
Natalie's swim may hold up here, and again, swimming athletes sometimes swimming in the morning because they have another priority event in the evening. So coaches will use different strategies. You know, sometimes swimming at night, you get a little bit of a little bit extra rest. Here's your bell lap.
Here comes Claire Parsons.
She's still got a chance to break that 18-minute mark, but she's going to have to get home pretty quickly on her last 100. Breaking 18 minutes is a real solid swim. From wire to wire, Decker has led all the way through and has not wavered on her splits.
If she does break 18 minutes, that would be a 37-second time drop of what she was seated as. She makes her final turn at the far end of the pool, does Decker, in lane 3.
36.5. Let's see what kind of closing speed she's got. Nice swim over there by Claire Parsons as well. 35.71 for Parsons, so she's really bringing it home on her last 100 as well. Closing speed's important to get cuts. You got to be able to show a second gear at the end. Being able to pick up your tempo after you've been at a pace for so long.
So Aaliyah is going to fall short of taking the victory away from Nalini Cortez. And she'll win this heat, though, in a time of 18:04.24 for Aaliyah Decker. Claire Parsons with a strong last 100 meters here. Really closed it up at the end. Will finish second in the heat in a time of 18:14.34. Third place in the heat will go to Tegan Madera. 18:20.78. And then fourth place, Emily Buning in the heat, 18:24.95. Fifth place goes to Jillian Lynham in lane 2, 18:28.27. So we'll see Nalini Cortez on the top spot of the podium a little bit later for the awards ceremony, with the winner in the 13-14 girls 1500 with a time of 17:56.03. Next up will be event 74 here once we get all the swimmers complete here in the final heat of the 13-14 girls 1500 free. It'll be event 74, the 13-14 boys 800 meter freestyle. So lane assignments here. This is the final heat of timed finals for the 13-14 boys in the 800 meter freestyle. In lane 1, Erin Uni, a 14-year-old from Avon Community Swim Team. Lane 2, Ford Crackle, a 14-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 3 is Zane Hendrickson, this 14-year-old from Boonville Dolphins. Lane 4, Bryce Scott, 14-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 5, Owen Dankert, 14-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Brady Byer, 14-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 7 is Malcolm Slater, 14-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. And in lane 8, Colin Kamek, 13-year-old from Westfield Aquatics. Caden Lancaster posted the top time in prelims this morning from Carmel Swim Club, 8:39.09. He was trying to break his dad's meet record of 8:36.11, which was set in 1990, that being Jason Lancaster's record. He fell just short of that. But he is the overall race leader as Caden Lancaster, and the association record goes back to 2014. That time is 18:17.56.
Set by Michael Brenniger, one of our national team members right now in open water. So again, we've got a virtual race, and I will say the virtual race isn't just for that top time, but we also had Connor Carlisle with a 9:03.09 and Nicholas Plum with a 9:14. Those guys could all pop into this top 8, be on the awards podium as well. But if you come in, Bryce Scott comes in with his 8:46.90 as his best time, and he's going to be pushed over on his right-hand side right now by Owen Dankert all the way through the race. And Owen's had a good meet as well. Remember these two battling it out earlier in the meet. And can these guys push each other for a let's say a 7-second drop to try to beat the time set earlier in the day by Caden Lancaster.
This is a 16-lap race, the 800 meters. And right now, as Tony said, Scott and Dankert have gone out and are perhaps going to try and break the rest of the field early in this one.
Well, we know what this Bryce Scott's signature characteristic is in his race, and it's his long turns. And that just kind of helps him as he pops off the wall. 3, 4, 5 dolphin kicks and just keeps everything long and smooth through the transition. And when I say that is he pushes off the wall, but then he's very smooth coming up from underwater, doesn't lose any momentum, keeps the body line and right into his first 3 strokes. So we knew these guys that were going to push each other all the way down the line. Let's see if they can push each other faster than the times were set earlier in the day.
Side by side, they're going to go through the first 200 meters as the leaders basically identical. Scott in lane 4, Dankert in 5. 2:05.52 for 2:06.52 for Scott, 2:06.63 for Dankert.
Well, interesting, that's quite a bit faster than Caden Lancaster went out in the morning swim, but he also had a great back half. So he was just really bringing it home. His strategy was to build through that front half of that race and really have a strong back half. As these guys go through it, they're already 2 seconds out. Faster pace, and these two guys, if there's anything that's going to happen, these guys are going to push each other to it. There's sometimes a curse and a blessing in having great competition. There's pride out there that they're going to push themselves a little bit harder if their teammate, when I say teammate, their teammate is their competition right now, to push them to their best. Over here, Brady Byer over here in 6, having a pretty decent swim. Brady has swum everything this meet, from 400 IM, 200 IM to both breaststrokes, and now he's in the 800 free. So Scott's holding it at 32.9, which is the fastest split in the pool. And as we go through the 400, we'll kind of compare where the virtual comparison of the athletes earlier in the day compared to the athletes here in the night swim. And these guys look really, really good right now. Very fluid. And again, we watched Bryce Scott earlier when these guys were racing each other to win the race off the walls, but then Dankert would just come back in the middle of the pool. He likes swimming between the flags. I like both of these guys. Their heels come over quickly. They get to the wall. They're actually, their race turns in the 1500 are exceptional. I mean, watch their heels come through and how they just power off the walls. So,
when swimmers are trying to chase down a ghost leader, if you will, a time that was posted in the prelim sessions, like both Scott and Dankert are trying to do right now, Tony, do you think the swimmer would prefer to have somebody to race with in this race, or perhaps stay on their own race strategy to trace down a leading time that they're not competing against?
I've seen athletes treated different ways. So a 4:19.77, and Caden Lancaster was out a 4:22.38. But again, remember the strength of Caden's back half, and I've seen athletes treated differently. When you're in the 3rd day of competition, it's not like you feel rested. You've been swimming for 3 days, prelims and finals, and there's nothing. Your body's just not going to feel, rested like it's your first swim. You're still strong. You're still in shape. You haven't gotten out of shape in 3 days. You've actually gotten stronger, but you just don't feel sharp. So sometimes the competition there will kind of, once they build into their swim, heart rate gets up, the blood gets flowing, they get loose, and they get numb. And I think the distance swimmers out there, once they get numb, you see them do some exceptional things because they're not thinking about pain.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do for a distance swimmer, distance runner, to fight through that pain and get to a different level.
Coming up on the 500 mark, both guys looking very strong here. Caden Lancaster was a 5:27.63 at this split. Gentlemen are out. 5:26.93 for Scott, 5:27.29. So the race is evened up. So the guys are just barely ahead of where Lancaster was at this point in time with 300 to go. And again, we saw some great closing speed by Caden Lancaster, and that was the signature move for him. He really brought his last 100 home very strong in a 102. 102.32 was his last 100, and these gentlemen are going to have to bring that to be able to win this. So going back to your virtual race right now, they're going to have to not just swim each other. Now they got to think about swimming the time. I don't know what their coaches talked to them about. Looks like the arms are up on the side like the athletes are doing well. Looks like they're on best time pace.
Once again, that time by Caden Lancaster this morning, 8:39.09. Time to beat. 13-14 boys 800-meter freestyle.
Looks like the guys are dropping off a touch off the pace set by Caden Lancaster. They got to start pushing each other at this point. 6:34.06. Lancaster was 6:32.68. So going to show, talking about the great strong back half that he's had. These guys got to push each other to a strong back half here. They may be on pace for best times, which is exceptional. They're lucky enough to have a good race going on. So let's talk about where everybody else is in the pool right now. It's like Brady Byer out here by himself. 34.41 over there in lane number 3. That is Zane Hendrickson from Boone County. Down here in lane 7, Malcolm Slater from Zionsville. And some great racing going on. And 1 and 2 on top of your screen, that's Aaron Young and Ford Crackle. They've got a nice race to push them through it. Now here comes Dankert a little bit, kind of pushing the back half. Looks like he's picked up his tempo here.
Yeah, it looked like Scott had perhaps moved ahead of Dankert just a little bit, but Dankert now has answered back here as they get ready to make the turn and get the bell with 2 laps to go.
All right, 7:41 is their splits. I don't think they're going to have enough to take down Caden Lancaster from the earlier swim.
Yeah, that time's 8:39.09 again. And as Tony said, that there were other swims in the morning too that were very good too. So
here they go.
When they make the turn down at the far end of the pool, the race will be on. It'll be a 50-meter sprint to the finish.
Yes, and it will be. Both of them came off the wall, right into their wall, powerful off the wall. Dankert came off with some powerful kick. Now let's see, right now we've got Scott breathing out of his left side, and we got Dankert breathing out of the right. They're just gonna have to feel each other out right here underwater.
Scott has upped the wick a little bit more than Dankert on this last 50, and he's gonna take the win here in this final heat. 13-14 boys 800-meter freestyle. It stops the clock in a time of 8:45.33. 8:46.99 for Dankert. And here comes Brady Byer. He's going to get third in the heat in lane 6.
9:03 was the next fastest time from the morning.
And Byer 9:00.85 to get third in the heat. So Caden Lancaster from the morning swim from the Carmel Swim Club will take first place. Then 8:39.09 in the 13-14 boys 800-meter freestyle. As the rest of the swimmers finish up here. Malcolm Slater got fourth in this heat, 9:17.64 in lane 7. Next event will be event 75. 11-12 girls 200-meter butterfly. Second and final heat of timed finals. There was only one swimmer in the first heat this morning. So your lane assignments here for the second heat of time finals. In lane 1, it's Bella Tufts, the 12-year-old from Crown Point Swim Club. Lane 2, Charlie Drew, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 3, Aubrey Simmons, 12-year-old from Howard County Aquatics. Lane 4, Elena Riggins, 11-year-old from Elkhart United Aquatics. Lane 5, Emma Schumacher, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 6 is Mia Wilson, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 7, Katie Brenneman, 11-year-old from Concord Swim Club. Lane 8 is Mia Kirkham, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Meet record set last year, 2:26.41. Association record is 2016 record, 2:26.34.
Key here is to be relaxed. Present the image that butterfly isn't hard. And it's just kind of a picture in your mind, and that's what coaches try to teach these athletes, is that the people that think butterfly is hard are the people who haven't learned their own body position and awareness in the water. Athletes that can ride high on top of the water and just relax their stroke through and not overuse their legs on the way out find that butterfly can be a very rhythmic stroke. they're good breaststrokers. Sometimes the short axis stroke translates to butterfly. Beautiful, nice, easy landing zone out there in lane number 3. That's Aubrey Simmons. And over here in lane number 5, Emma Schumacher. And when I say that, when you talk about landing zone is where they can take their arms as far and extend through their lats all the way out in front, and then their body position easily follows through. It's not having a vertical body position with your arms stretched out. It's as that landing zone happens that your body follows through with the landing zone. And I think that's what you're seeing over there by Aubrey Simmons. 1:14.60.
Yeah, she's underway on the back half of this race, and this is a race where lots of things can and oftentimes do happen, positions change on the back half.
So these athletes probably learned to swim the 200 butterfly in short course yards. That's 8:25s. Now out in the middle of the pool right now in 50 meters, a lot more swimming involved without any breaks. So it's very rhythmical. Coaches do 50s counting their strokes. We want you to do a 50 at this pace with this many strokes. And instead of trying to swim a set of 200 butterflies, they are trying to swim sets where they are going 50 repeats, trying to hold the same stroke count, the same stroke, and just repeat that. Don't try to pick it up. Just repeat it over and over and over again. When your body gets fatigued right now is what's happening. Body's getting fatigued, and they still just have to hold stroke. Goal here.
Good race here between Simmons in 3, Schumacher in 5, and then a good close as well by Brenneman in 7. Looks like Schumacher's moved to the lead in lane 5. And Emma Schumacher will win this second heat. 2:39.46. 11-12 girls 200-meter butterfly. Second place in the heat, Audrey Simmons, 2:42.04. And Katie Brenneman, 2:43.91, got third in lane 7. We'll see the third and final heat of time finals now in the same event. The same boys, the 11-12 boys this time in the 200-meter butterfly, event 76. In lane 1, it'll be Amadeo Kincaid, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 2, Misha Macaverini, 12-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 3, Landon Holmes, 12-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 4, Jay Stewart, the 12-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 5 is Eduardo Sanchez, 12-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 6, Zach Vervalide, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 7, Caleb Kuntz, 12-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. And in lane 8, Hayden Weber, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Your time from the morning prelims, Lucas Pagel from Indiana Swim Club, swam a 2:27.29. Meet record, and he wasn't that far off the meet record. Meet record was set last year, 2018, 2:25.83, and the association record back to 2013, that time 2:15.29.
Let's talk a little bit about, again, one more time about the difference between an association record and a meet record. Meet record must be done at the age group state championship meet. The actual association record can be done at this meet, as we've seen numerous records being broken over the weekend, but it can also be done at any competition, any sanctioned competition, and it counts as what's called the Indiana Association record. Jay Stewart out like a shot. We saw sometimes the benefits of being relaxed and building through that first 75 at the 200. And that's a confidence thing a lot of the time. I think that athletes, there's nervous energy at the start of every race. You can't, some races you can slow down and just relax and then let the race come back to you. In the 200 butterfly, if you do that, your body position just drops down and you're like pulling a barge through the water. So keep an eye over here at Eduardo Sanchez in lane number 5, who's just kind of being slow and smooth and relaxed and comfortable. Let's see how this race plays out.
And Jay Stewart in lane 4 will be the leader at the halfway point. Once again, the time to beat, Lucas Pagel this morning in prelims, 2:27.29.
Lucas has won the 50 and the 100 butterfly, so it's going to be a tough time to beat. Right now, Jay Stewart, 1:10.07. So we've seen a lot of great swims in the morning that may hold up at night.
Now Stewart may get a battle here as they head down towards the far end of the pool here from Eduardo Sanchez in lane 5.
Sanchez picking up his tempo, but still keeping his hips up high. Jay Stewart answering back. Just remember, you only have to pull your body through the water. You don't, well, unless you get too close to that lane line, right?
Exactly.
But you don't, you only have to pull your body through the water. And that's, you know, strength is all relative to your body. And look at Sanchez. What's that time we're looking to beat?
2:27.29. Sanchez has put together a nice back half swim here.
I'm not sure that he's going to be able to have that closing speed to be able to take down Pagel's time, but he's looking real solid on this back half.
Well, less than 25 meters to go now for Sanchez.
Very disciplined on his breathing. He really stays one up, one down. Really keeps his body high on top of the water.
Sanchez will win this final heat in a time of 2:29.58 for Sanchez.
Nice swim.
Second place, Jay Stewart in the heat, 2:32.69. Third place will be Landon Holmes in lane 3 at 2:36.61. So Lucas Pagel from the morning swim of that 2:27.29 will take the top spot on the podium in the 11-12 boys 200-meter butterfly. Next event is event 77, 13-14 girls 200-meter backstroke. We'll have a consolation final and a championship final here in this event. As prelims set the fields for these two heats this morning. In the consolation final in lane 1, Vivian Wilson, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2 is Rachel Dildine, the 13-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 3, Ellie Overbeck, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Claire Parsons, 14-year-old from Terre Haute Torpedoes. Lane 5, Alyssa Street, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Paige Sherman, the 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Audrey Crawford, 13-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. And in lane 8 is Ari Stever, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club.
So the athletes' gold. None of the athletes have achieved the AAA time standard, that central zone qualifying time. We've talked a lot about the Team Indiana trip that's heading off to Fargo, North Dakota next week. And you have to have a AAA qualifying time. Our team has grown quite a bit just since this meet. We've added 30-plus qualifiers just at this championship. So a good goal for these young ladies is hit that AAA zone qualifying time here, which is a 2:31.79. I know in the back of their minds they're thinking, let's go sub 2:30, which is a nice barrier to break.
Looks like in the lane 5, the early leader here is Alyssa Street. Lane 1's at the top of your screen here at the IU Natatorium. Lane 8 at the bottom of your screen.
Alyssa looks very loose, very comfortable in her shoulders as she builds into her 100 wall. Very smooth rotation into her turn. She's 1:11.32. 36.98 on the split. She's the fastest swimmer in the pool on that 50.
Ari Steber in lane 8 in second place at the turn.
So let's see who makes the move here. Alyssa Street's still looking pretty strong right now. And when I say strong, I don't think I'd use that word. I think I'd use the word fluid. Because I don't look like there's a lot of wasted energy in her stroke right now. It just looks very fluid, very comfortable, and very powerful.
Street makes the turn down at the far end of the pool. And leading in lane 5. Second place in lane 2 now, Rachel Dildine from Duneland.
Fastest split actually goes to Dildine at 37.36, so she's making a nice move on that third 50. We've called her name quite often this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, she's really closing in on Street, it looks like a little bit now.
We're going to use those yellow markers out there, and they look like their heads probably crossed almost equally. We'll see what happens underneath the flags.
You got Stever in lane 8 closing in as well. It's going to be between Dildine and Street here for the win in the consolation final, and it's going to go to Dildine in lane 2 from Duneland. Rachel Dildine, 2:27 flat. Second place to Alyssa Street in a time of 2:27.26, and third place in lane 8, Ari Stever, in a time of 2:28.57. Championship final now. 13-14 girls 200-meter backstroke. In lane 1, Sid Nethercutt, 14-year-old from Northridge Area Swimming Association. Lane 2 is Anna Wheel, 14-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 3, Kira Kask, 14-year-old from Riviera Swim Team. Lane 4, JoJo Ramey, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 5, Grace DeLuna, 14-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic Club. Lane 6, Barrett Berglund, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Ripley Merritt, 13-year-old from the SWAC Swim Team. And lane 8, Jordan Alders, 14-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. JoJo Ramey, the top qualifier from prelims, in a time of 2:20.84. Meet record set in 2017, time 2:15.63, and the association record set in 2013, that time 2:15.44.
Well, JoJo was out 2:20 this morning and was very relaxed and very smooth with it. She looks to be very aggressive right now. She goes after the front half. I know that she's going for that junior national time standard, but also the Olympic trial qualifying standard, which is 2:14.69, I believe, for the 200 backstroke.
Junior national cut is 2:18.29.
32:06. She had a beautiful 100 backstroke, meeting the junior national time standard yesterday in the 100 back. So the 2:14 mark, it's really about a great back half in the 200 backstroke. Not too much play on words there, is it? Right now, very still head position for JoJo. She likes to have an aggressive tempo. She is out at 1:05.93 with a 33.87. She's got to hold within that 34 range on this 50 to be able to have a shot at the times that she's looking for. Looks like lane number 6. That is Berglund from Carmel with a nice strong swim. She was the top finisher in the 100 backstroke. Real close to Olympic trial qualifying times as well in the 100 backstroke. So we're looking for a 34-second split here for JoJo Ramey as she works to try to get that Olympic trials cut. 35.35 for JoJo.
And here comes JoJo up towards
Looks like
the
she's got a little
halfway
bit
point in the pool.
left.
Yeah, she's
really
like the
powering
tempo's
through it.
up a little bit here. 25 meters to go.
Coming on strong in lane number 7 with a nice back half is Ripley Merritt from SWAC. That junior national cuts 2:18.29.
I think she's going to get that. And JoJo Ramey stretches to the wall.
Oh!
2:15.58 and does
Nice.
get the meet record.
Let it go.
2:15.58 for JoJo Ramey, a new meet record. And so congratulations to JoJo Ramey, the junior national cut and the meet record in the 13-14 girls 200-meter backstroke. And Barrett Berglund finished second in lane 6, 2:22.63. And in third place in lane 3 was Kira Kask in a time of 2:24.40.
Just off that association record by tenths of seconds. Great swim.
The next event, event 78, 13-14 boys 200-meter backstroke. Consolation final in lane 1, Walker Matthijs, 13-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 2, Christian Kampion, 13-year-old from Elkhart United Aquatics. Lane 3 is Saketh Reddy, 14-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 4, Gavin Nagdeman, 14-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 5 is Carson Zotek, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Brody Friend, the 14-year-old from Washington Township Swim Club. Lane 7 is J.J. Schmidt, 14-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. And in lane 8 is Jave Shepard, 14-year-old from Flashers Aquatics.
All right, AAA time standard for goal for these gentlemen is 2:23.59. And we saw what happened in that consolation heat of the girls. You know, that 2:31 kind of got blown away. There were 3 or 4 girls that dropped 4 seconds from their preliminary swims. Let's see how the boys attack this. And at 2:23.59, the zone cut. Meet record. That young lady's got opportunity to, and I think there's 3 or 4 girls in our age group state championship, Barrett Berglund being one, that we may see at Olympic trials. So that's pretty nice. Pretty encouraging for the Indiana LSC.
Early leader here in the first 100 is going to be Gavin Nagdeman in lane 4 from Duneland. He'll come through 100 meters at 1:08.96.
Looks pretty comfortable on the way out, but a nice move off the wall in lane number 3. That's the Keith Reddy Newburgh Sea Creatures, who made a move right away. And he's increasing his tempo, but you don't see a lot of splash. You don't see a lot of extra legs. You don't see a lot of body movement. He's increasing his tempo, nice fluid pulls, but you're not seeing a lot of wasted motion. So he may have the fastest 50 split on the third 50. Let's see.
And make the turn down at the far end, 50 meters to go.
37.46 for Sakeith and 37.68 for Gavin. 37.13 for Carson Zotek from Carmel.
Yeah, we'll watch him here as he comes up.
He is coming on strong.
25-meter mark in lane 5. Magdeman still your leader in lane 4 here.
Oh, he found himself a second gear, didn't he? One nice thing about backstroke, you can see behind you.
Yeah, exactly. And a great close by Zotek, but Magdeman will take the consolation final in time of 2:22.42. Second place, Zotek, 2:23.27. Third place will be Ready in lane 3 in a time of 2:24.25. So it's time for the championship final, 13-14 boys, 200-meter backstroke. In lane 1, Sam Smith, 14-year-old from Indian Creek Aquatic Club. Lane 2, Emil Haig, 13-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 3, Nicholas Plum, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Nicholas in lane 3. Lane 4, KJ Sweeney, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5 is William Ratchis, 14-year-old from Riviera Swim Team. Lane 6, Louis Henderson, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 7, Nicholas Summers, the 14-year-old from Avon Community Swim Team. And lane 8, Easton Heiser, 14-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. KJ Sweeney from Carmel Swim Club, the top seed, at a time of 2:15.14. Meet record set in 2016, 2:05.51. The association record set the same year as a 100th faster, 2:05.50.
It's by Wyatt Davis, and he was at a whole another level swimming for that junior national time standard. Not quite sure how to call this one. I think Plum, Sweeney, and Ratchis all have a shot at this swim. We saw Ratchis have some good swims from Riviera. Nicholas Plum, he swam his 800 in the morning so that he could concentrate more on the backstroke here. But again, you said KJ Sweeney was the top qualifier. So right now, it looks like Ratchis is going out after the swim. But it is a 200, and we've watched some people come back really strong on the last 50 and 75, but Ratchis has had some amazing swims this weekend. And he is 30.2 on the way out. Futures time standard to 11:89. Ratchis and over to his left in lane number 6. Louis Henderson from Fast looking pretty strong as well. Nice long arms there, does Henderson.
Ratchis in lane 5 will weed through the opening 100 meters.
Ratchis has kind of smoothed himself out from that first 50. He had a lot of nervous energy on the way out, but he's kind of smoothed himself out there. But watch Sweeney come back strong. Watch Plum come back strong on the back half here. Here comes Sweeney.
Sweeney in lane 4. Still about a body length behind Ratchis.
Ratchis looks like he's over pulling with one side of his body just a hair. It's like he's getting a real deep catch with his left side. He's very, very strong. He's physically strong, and I think that's helping him pull through it. He just looks like he kind of leans a little bit more to his left than his right. All right, let's look at the splits here. 34.33 is the fastest split on that 50, and it goes to Sweeney. Now again, Ratchis gets to see his competition from behind. So he knows where his competition is at this point, but here comes Sweeney. 25 to go.
Sweeney digging hard in lane 4 now. Trying to overtake Ratchis here in the final few meters. Sweeney powering by Ratchis. Can he?
Oh, Ratchis answered.
It's going to be a bang finish. Ratchis holds on. 2:12.83 to a 2:12.88 to Sweeney. It looked like Sweeney was going to power by him there in the last couple meters, but as Tony said, Ratchis answered right at the end and held him off for the win.
Wow. Great swimming, guys.
Third place in the heat, Nicholas Plum, 2:15.45. By 5/100ths of a second, William Ratchis won that 200-meter backstroke championship final. Award ceremony is upcoming. And so we'll turn things over to the voice of the pool deck, Mike Miles, for the awards presentations. And then when we return to swimming, it'll be event 79, 11-12 girls 50-meter breaststroke consolation final, followed by the championship final. So Mike Miles will come your way here shortly with our first awards break of the evening. And awards to be presented in the 1500, the 13-14 girls 1500, the 13-14 boys 800 freestyle, 11-12-year-olds in the 200 butterfly, and 13-14-year-olds in the 200 backstroke. So that to come with Mike Miles here shortly.
As we wait for our awards presentations, tell you a little bit about what's coming to the IU Natatorium and Indiana Swimming in 2020. Indiana Swimming is proud to announce that the NCAA Division I Men's Swimming and Diving Championships will be here at the IU Natatorium March 25th through the 28th next year. And if you have not seen the fastest short course meet in the world, it is an experience. You can't really describe what happens in that meet until you watch that power and just amazing team energy that is brought to the men's NCAA Division I championships. Also in 2020, the Tier Pro Series Swim Series meet will be here.
And now the award presentation.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Girls, 1500 freestyle. And in 8th place for Mount Vernon Swim Team, Chrissy Bazin. 7th from SWAC Swim Team, Jillian Lynham. 6th from Washington Township, Emily Buning. 5th from Power Aquatics, Tegan Madera. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Aaron Cummins. And now the medal presentation for the top 3. In 3rd place from Terre Haute Torpedoes, Claire Parsons. Second place, Lake Central Barracuda, Aaliyah Decker. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 13-14 girls 1500 free from Club Olympia Swim Team, Nalini Cortez. And the time is 17:56.03. And up onto the awards podium, the top 8 finishers, 13-14 boys, 800 freestyle, and 8th place from Zionsville Swim Club, Malcolm Slater. 7th from Boonville Dolphins, Zane Hendrickson. 6th place from Carmel Swim Club, Nicholas Plum. 5th place from Fast Tigers, Connor Carlisle. 4th place from Club Olympia, Brady Byer. And now the recognition for the top 3 in 3rd place from Fort Wayne Swim Team, Owen Dankirk. Second place, Duneland Swim Club, Bryce Scott. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 boys, 800 freestyle from Carmel Swim Club, Caden Lancaster, in a time 8:39.09. Presentations coming up here in 200 butterfly. And ready now, here are your top 8 finishers up onto the awards podium. In 11 and 12 girls, 200 butterfly. In 8th place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Mia Parker. 7th from Irish Aquatics, Charlie Drew. 6th from Elkhart United Aquatics, Elena Riggins. 5th from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Mia Wilson. 4th from Crown Point Swim Club, Bella Tufts. And now the top 3. 3rd place from Concord Swim Club, Katie Brenneman. 2nd place, Howard County Aquatics, Aubrey Simmons. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 11 and 12 girls, 200 butterfly from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Emma Schumacher, in a time of 2:39.46. And now the award presentation for 11 and 12 boys, 200 butterfly. In 8th place from Duneland Swim Club, Amadio Kincaid. 7th from Lake Central Barracudas, Hayden Weber. 6th from Lake Central Barracudas, Zach Vervelet. 5th from Club Olympia Swim Team, Misha Macaveriani. 4th from Valparaiso Swim Club, Landon Holmes. And here now the top 3. In 3rd place from Franklin Regional Swim Team, Jay Stewart. 2nd place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Eduardo Sanchez. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 11 and 12 boys, 200 butterfly from Indiana Swim Club, Lucas Pagel, and a time 2:27.29. And our next award break will be taking place at the conclusion, 13-14 boys, 200 breaststroke, event 82. That's our next awards break. And we direct your attention down to the scoreboard balcony end of the natatorium. 50 breaststroke coming up.
All right, we're going to return to the swimming now with event 79, 11-12 girls 50-meter breaststroke consolation final. We'll be using the blocks at the opposite end of the pool here. This will be a 50-meter race, so they'll finish at the normal starting block end. In the consolation final, in lane 1, it'll be Amy Mowell, 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. In lane 2, Sydney Watkins, 12-year-old from Sea Dragon Swimming. Lane 3 is Lucy Enoch, 11-year-old from Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 4 is Tegan Warner, 11-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 5, Sarah McPherson, 11-year-old from Washington Township Swim Club. Lane 6 is Exley Tricker, 12-year-old from Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 7 is Guinevere Schmitzer Torbert, 12-year-old from Sugar Creek Swim Club. And in lane 8, Savannah Irizarry, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club.
AAA time standard, that zone cut, 38:49. Fastest seed time out of prelims, 38:93. A kind of a tie between Werner and McPherson from this morning's preliminary round. There's a three-way tie this morning, actually.
Great race here to the touchpad. Maybe lane 8, a slide edge. Let's see if she can hang on. Yes, Irizarry goes at 38:47. The meet record was 33:95, by the way. Second place, Warner, 39:19. And third place, McPherson in lane 5, 39:33. So the championship final now. In lane 1, Claire Francis, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 2, Frankie Ramey, 11-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 3, Lillian Poley, 12-year-old from Jasper Aquatic Wildcats. Lane 4 is Lil Ratzliff, 12-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 3, Lexi Ward, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Rachel Ang, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. Lane 7, Elena Riggins, the 11-year-old from Elkhart United Aquatics. And lane 8, Molly Sweeney, 11-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. That meet record, as I said, set last year, 33:95. Association record, 33:89, also set last year. Ratzliff, the number 1 qualifier, in a time of 36:71. One length of the pool here. 11-12 girls, 50-meter breaststroke. Here we go.
Beautiful underwater work out here in lane number 5. That was Lexi Ward from Carmel Swim Club. Really took advantage of it. Over to lane number 7, Elena Riggins from Elkhart. Strong underwater pullout. Puts her in the lead at the 25-meter mark. Ward, strong tempo in the middle part of that race is kind of giving her slight edge, but here comes Lil Ratzliff.
Ratzliff, a strong move at the end. Who's going to out-touch whom here? And the win will go to Lil Ratzliff in lane 4. 36:17 to the 36:19 of Lexi Ward. 200ths of a second win for Lil Ratzliff. And third place in lane 6 to Rachel Ang in the time of 37.19.
We'll give it to Ratzliff for diving her finish. And when I say that last arm stroke was faster than her swimming strokes, and that was 2/100ths of a second, and it did make a difference. So great finish to the pad.
11-12 boys 50-meter breaststroke event 80 consolation final. In lane 1, Ethan Zhang, 11-year-old from Fish Aquatics. Lane 2, Corey Han, 11-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3 is Shannon Wright, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Hayden Lynham, 12-year-old from SWAC. Lane 5, Mason Cruz, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Andrew Byer, 12-year-old from Riviera. Lane 7, Cameron Cox, 12-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic Club. And in lane 8, Caden D. Sumet, 12-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club.
Now we got to keep an eye on our outside lanes in these 50s down at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching from home, lane 1 at the top of your screen, lane 8 at the bottom. Caden DeSmet from, looks like Vincennes Valparaiso Swim Club having a nice swim.
And now the middle of the pool really closing well here as well. This is going to be a bang-bang finish here. Let's see what the scoring system says it goes to Shannon Wright in lane 3 in a time of 32.20 from the Carmel Swim Club. Second place, Andrew Byer in lane 6, 38.35. Third place, Mason Cruz in a time of 38.36. Championship final now. Lane 1, Hayden Weber, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 2 is Riley Glaceus, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 3, Jaehoon Jung, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 4, Carter Lancaster, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5, Avis Hakeem, 12-year-old from LaPorte Community Turbos. Lane 6, Elijah Hall, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 7, Ryan Neller, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 8, Gavin Barnes, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Gary Cosbate holds the meet record, set it in 2011, 32.88. The association record goes back to 2000. It's 32.61. We've seen Carter Lancaster break a bunch of records here this weekend. Can he get this one? He qualified in prelims in a time of 33.73.
Tempo is important here, but also power is important. You swim through this race, it's important that you don't spin your wheels. In other words, your hands are moving faster than the grip on the water that you might have, and you take your kick out of the race. So looks like he is on pace to go that 32.88 if he can get in on these last 3 strokes.
Gonna be close. 32.65, 32.85 or 6.5? 32.85, so he beats it by 3/100ths of a second. Carter Lancaster, another meet record for him this weekend, 32.85, and that's a good record to beat. Gospade was a really good breaststroker.
Still is. Yep. For IU, going to nationals.
And second place, Avis Hakeem, 35.88 in the heat. Third place, Elijah Hall, 36.60, but Carter Lancaster, the meet record now belongs to him in that event, 32.65, the 11-12 boys 50-meter breaststroke. So we'll return down to the other end of the pool. 13-14 girls in the 200-meter breaststroke. Consolation final in lane 1, Taylor Brackney, 13-year-old from Plainfield Community Aquatics. Lane 2, Aylin Zerlini, 13-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 3, Kaya Podlin, 13-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 4 is Casey McNulty, 14-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 5 is Tegan Madara, 13-year-old from Power Aquatics. Lane 6, Anna Stoll, the 14-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 7, Catherine Kessler, 14-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club. And in lane 8, Claire Peters, the 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club.
So one of the things we've noticed in the 200s over the weekend is the athletes that have the patience on the front half. That we were counting it out yesterday. We're watching some of the swimmers 1/1000s, being able to control that first 75 and build their tempo into the 100 wall, and then really have strong back halves. So as we watch this, these young ladies seem to be taking it out very fluid out there in 2 and 3. Zerline and Podlin at 38.27. Actually tied for that first 50 split. Now, interesting thing is now we're seeing the tempo slow down. The only person that hasn't slowed down their tempo, which has kept the same tempo, is over here in lane number 7. And lane number 8. That is Kessler and Peters.
Yeah, the Peters may be blocked by the people on the side of the deck.
Nice smooth approach to the race. The key 50 that we watch as we're calling our broadcast is watching who has that 50, the third 50 emphasis, who's really taken off. So Peters, 42.83 is the fastest swimmer on that second 50. Let's see who takes off on the third 50 and who can post that top third 50 split.
Podlin had the lead at the turn, but off to Podlin's right, just above her in lane 2. Zerlini making a little bit of move, it looks like.
Those two started racing each other on the first 50. It looks like they're going to race through the last 75 as well. Both of them built their tempo into this turn. They didn't approach the turn slow. They actually built their tempo into the turn, giving them momentum off the wall. Fastest swimmer in the pool in that 50 looks like Zerlini, 43.68, looks like the fastest split in the pool. But answering right back, looks like Podlin.
Yeah, it's Podlin and Zerlini. It's really stroke for stroke almost in lanes 2 and 3, 4. Looks like those two will decide this consolation final in the 200-meter breaststroke here. Now Podlin maybe has an extra gear here at the finish. Kaya Podlin will win the consolation final. A time of 2:47.75. Second place is Zerlini in lane 2, 2:49.40. And getting third in lane 7, Catherine Kessler, and a time of 2:52.33. That brings us to the championship final now for the 13-14 girls in the 200-meter breaststroke. In lane 1, Lily Christensen, 13-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 2, Audrey Crawford, 13-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. Lane 3, Maggie Morse, 13-year-old from Crown Point Swim Club. Lane 4, Abby Harkema, 14-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 5, Molly Robinson, 14-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. Lane 6 is Kate Mouser, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 7, Taylor Stasny, 13-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. And in lane 8, Megan Crispin, the 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Meet record set in 2013, 2:35.38. Association record the same year, that time 2:34.47. Harkema, the top qualifier in this championship final, and a time of 2:46.66 in the morning prelims.
2:43.39 is the Futures qualifying standard. Some of our athletes going down to Greensboro, North Carolina to swim in the Futures Championship later this season. So athletes to keep your eye on. Lily Christensen up on the top of your screen. Harkema obviously our top seed. Molly Robinson not far off the 100 junior national time standard earlier in the competition. Kate Mauser's having a great meet. Megan Christman down at the bottom of your screen could be a surprise in this 200 as well. Robinson going out very aggressive here. She wants that junior national time standard of 2:38.29. And the key again, patience. But patience at scale. In other words, patience at the level you've got to go out. But don't extend energy sideways. Don't extend energy that you don't need to extend. You can go just as fast. I've seen breaststrokers in the 200 go out their best times with less strokes. And they can't figure out why it happens, and it's just because of efficiency. So we're going to watch the back half breaststrokers here as they approach the 100. Again, this is patience.
Molly Robinson with the lead at the halfway point, lane 5.
17:41. Hakima with a nice underwater pullout. Seems to have a little bit more pronounced drive out of her kick. Lane number 3, Maggie Morse. Coming on strong from Crown Point Swim Club.
Yeah, Harkema now is, I think, maybe just slightly edged ahead of Robinson for the race lead as they head down to the far end of the pool. We'll wait and see, though, what the touchpad registers down there.
It's hard for us to get a good view of the actual stroke. Sometimes when we watch these athletes get down at the bottom of the screen, it looks like Harkema was 42.41, the fastest 50 split on that third 50 of the field.
Robinson did maintain the lead there through that 50 meter there.
And that's because of strong pullouts. Robinson's answering here. She's got a little bit left in the tank. Again, keep the stroke moving forward, not up and down. Don't waste that energy just pulling for pulling's sake.
Now Harkema, a strong back half swim in lane 4. Will it be enough to get by Robinson at the finish? And it will. 2:42.80 for Abby Harkema to take the win. Second place to Molly Robinson, 2:43.06. And third place in lane 6, Kate Mouser, goes at 2:46.78. Harkema closing in that last 50 to 41.79. So event 82, 13-14 boys, 200-meter breaststroke. Consolation final is next. In lane 1, it will be Austin McGrogan, 14-year-old from the SWAC swim team. Lane 2, Brandon Trin, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3 is Ethan Moody, 14-year-old from Dunland Swim Club. Lane 4, Carter Brames, a 13-year-old from Riviera. Lane 5, Tice Treadway, 14-year-old from Flashes Aquatics. Lane 6, Colin Anderson, 13-year-old from Lawrence Swim Team. Lane 7, Colin Fleming, a 14-year-old from Pro Swimming. And in lane 8, Adam McCurdy, the 14-year-old from Three Rivers Aquatic Club.
AAA time standard zone cut, 2:42.09. Throw the goal out there for one of these athletes in the field to break that 2:40 mark. Looking, beautiful underwater pull out right there in lane number 4. That was Carter Brames from Rivy. And again, purposeful strokes. You look at that from Carter right now. Everything that he's doing. Notice how his stroke almost looks like he's swimming downhill. As he presses forward and extends forward, he actually looks like he's swimming downhill. So that's really purposeful. Staying within himself, staying within his technique right now. It takes patience, it takes good practice habits. Out here in lane number 7, Colin Fleming from Pro. Purposeful swimming just isn't technique, it's also race strategy. In other words, being comfortable within yourself, that you're going to go fast enough and build easy speed through your technique and your pullouts and your walls.
Carter.
One more stroke.
Carter Brames with the lead at the halfway point. 1:16.11 for Carter in lane 4. Second place in lane 7, Fleming, out in a 1:17.59.
Well, what you saw from Carter was a fast turn. And I would say that if I had to time him on a stopwatch, he had the fastest turn from hands touching the wall to feet leaving the wall. So as he came in on a full body line, he was in and out quicker than anybody else in the field. So he didn't approach his third 50 by the swimming. He approached his third 50 as he approached the wall going in the opposite direction.
Carter about ready to make his final turn of this race. Down at the far end of the pool, lane 4.
41-32 split. Kind of looks like maybe he just didn't have the swim of his life in the morning. Looks like he belongs in top 8. Tice Treadway, Flashes Aquatics starting to come on strong.
He's in lane 5, so he's put together a nice back half swim. Does he have enough to get by Carter? I don't think so. Carter Brames will win the consolation final in time of 2:39.54. Treadway finishes second in lane 5, 2:41.14, and third place in lane 7, Colin Fleming, in a time of 2:43.76. Championship final now, 13-14 boys, 200-meter breaststroke. In lane 1, it will be Louis Henderson, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 2, Brandon Malicki, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3 is Jeremiah Boshears, 13-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 4, Brady Byer, the 14-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 5, Dan Bennett, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 6, Justin Banks, 14-year-old from Hoosier Hills Otters. Lane 7, KJ Sweeney, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Seth Cannon, 13-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Your meet and association record set in 2016, the time 2:23.66. Top qualifier here, Beyer from prelims this morning, swam a 2:29.64.
Futures time standard 2:29.09. I think Brady's working more towards getting close to junior national cuts than he is to getting to the future cut. On paper, he's our favorite. Just watching him in the 100 breaststroke and also the 400 IM. See what kind of race he can put together. Very disciplined underwater, hands tight to his body as he came up off his underwater pullout. $33.08 for Beyer. Beyer's into his best stroke is when he can really feel the water on his feet. I mean, I think we actually watched him swim backstroke earlier in the competition. He had kind of a breaststroker's backstroke kick. And I think he's got great ankle flexibility. You can see we can see it, but his ankles and his toes really flex out, so where he's getting a great push from his feet as if they were actually a paddle.
Out in a 1:10.35 is Beyer, the leader in lane 4. Second place in lane 5, Bennett, out in a 1:13.03.
Coming on strong over there in lane number 3, Jeremiah Broshears from Indiana Swim Club. See if Brady Beyer can hit another 37 on the split here. 37.68.
So Beyer on his way to winning the championship final, has 25 meters to go.
On his way to about a 226 split. 226 final time, not a split.
Here comes Beyer. See if anybody can challenge Bennett for second here. They come to the wall. Beyer at a 2:24.63.
Beautiful last
2:24.63. Bennett will hang on for second place. 2:32.46 in lane 5. Third place goes to Broshears in lane 3. 2:34.44.
Beyer saved up a lot of gas for that last 50, almost just a second off junior national times.
So we're going to have another awards break here with Mike Miles, the voice of the pool deck here. Awards in the 11, 12s and the 50-meter breaststroke, and the 13, 14-year-olds in the 200-meter breaststroke. And then when we return to action, will be event 83, 11, 12 girls in the 200-meter freestyle consolation final.
Continuing on with what's happening in Indiana swimming in 2020, Tier Pro Series meet that is going to be held May 6th through the 9th here at the IU Natatorium is going to be the last tune-up before Olympic trials. So we're anticipating many of the USA Swimming national team members and Olympians to be here at the IU Natatorium for that final tune-up before they start the full taper going into Olympic trials. As well in 2020, USA Swimming Invitational. It's a combined meet, something new from USA Swimming, U.S. Open and Speedo Junior National Championships in a combined meet. August 4th through the 6th here at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. So busy year. Not to mention next summer we're going to be doing a combined championship of our own here in Indiana called Swim Fest. We do it once every 4 years, and we'll be holding it prelims for age group here at the IU Natatorium, and all final swims will be here at the IU Natatorium as well. So a very unique format and high-level competition in 2020 across the board throughout the entire year here in Indianapolis.
Award presentation now. 13-14 girls, 200 backstroke. In 8th place from Northridge Area Swim Association, Sid Nethercutt. 7th from Duneland Swim Club, Jordan Alders. 6th from Center Grove Aquatic, Grace DeLuna. 5th from Duneland, Anna Wheel. 4th from SWAC, Ripley Merritt. And now the top 3. In 3rd place from Riviera Swim Team, Kira Kask. Second place from Carmel Swim Club, Brett Berglund. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 backstroke for Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. She did it, setting a new meet record with her swim of a 2:15.58, JoJo Ramey. Ready now for the award presentation, 13-14 boys, 200 backstroke. In 8th place from Avon Community Swim Team, Nicholas Summers. 7th from Indian Creek Aquatic, Sam Smith. 6th place from Zionsville Swim Club, Easton Heiser. 5th from Indiana Swim Club, Emil Haig. 4th for Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Louis Henderson. And in the top 3, in 3rd place from Carmel Swim Club, Nicholas Plum. Placed in 2nd from Carmel, KJ Sweeney. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 boys, 200 backstroke from Riviera Swim Team, William Rachis in a time 2:12.83. 11 and 12 girls, 50 breaststroke. In 8th place from Carmel Swim Club, Molly Sweeney. 7th for Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Claire Francis. 6th from Elkhart United, Elena Riggins. 5th from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Frankie Ramey. 4th from Jasper Aquatic Wildcats, Lillian Poley. And the top 3 now. 3rd place from Southeastern Swim Club, Rachel Lang. In 2nd place from Carmel Swim Club, Lexi Ward. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 11 and 12 girls, 50 breaststroke. Lil Ratzliff at a time of 36.71 for Franklin Regional. And now the presentation in 11 and 12 boys, 50 breaststroke. In 8th place from Lake Central Barracudas, Hayden Weber. 7th from Brownsburg Swim Club, Gavin Barnes. 6th place from Southeastern Swim Club, Jihoon Zhang. 5th place from Brownsburg Swim Club, Riley Blasius. 4th place from Fort Wayne Swim Team, Ryan Neller. And here now the top 3. In 3rd place from Brownsburg Swim Club, Elijah Hall. 2nd place from the Port Community Turbos, Abbas Hakim. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion in 11 and 12 boys, 50 breaststroke from Carmel Swim Club, setting a new meet record in a time of 32.85, Carter Lancaster. Award presentation now, 13-14 girls, 200 breaststroke. In 8th place from Irish Aquatics, Lily Christensen. 7th from Lake Central Barracudas, Taylor Stasny. 6th place from Carmel Swim Club, Megan Chrisman. 5th place from Crown Point Swim Club, Maggie Morse. 4th place from Southeastern Swim Club, Audrey Crawford. Medal presentation now to the top 3. In 3rd place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Kate Mauser. 2nd place from Southeastern Swim Club, Molly Robinson. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 breaststroke from Lake Central Barracudas, Abby Harkima, in a time of 2:42.80. One more award presentation to go. And now the presentation, 13-14 boys, 200 breaststroke. In 8th place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Louis Henderson. 7th place from Newburgh Sea Creatures, Seth Cannon. 6th place from Hoosier Hills Otters, Justin Banks. 5th place from Carmel Swim Club, KJ Sweeney. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Brandon Malecki. And your top 3 now in 3rd place from Indiana Swim Club, Jeremiah Bashirs. Placing 2nd from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Dan Bennett. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 boys 200 breaststroke from Club Olympia, Brady Byer, in a time of 2:24.63.
So that'll wrap up this awards break here. And turn to swimming now, event 83. 11-12 girls 200-meter freestyle consolation final. 4 lengths to the pool. In lane 1, it'll be Maris Emmert, 11-year-old from Sugar Creek Swim Club. Lane 2, Molly Billings, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 3, Izzy Mark Coate, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 4, Olivia Ford, 12-year-old from Greenwood Gators. Lane 5, Addison Carlisle, 11-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 6, Rachel Garcia, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. And lane 7, Mallory Koloski, 12-year-old from the Duneland Swim Club. And in lane 8, Mila Hawkins, the 12-year-old from Howard County Aquatics. 11-12 girls 200-meter freestyle consolation final.
Four of our athletes have achieved the AAA time standard, the Central Zone qualifying standard in this particular field. Watching to see who has a breakthrough swim in this event, whether it is any of the 4 heats of the 200. Breakthrough swim here would be a 220 mark. So let's see who can get out about a 108, 107 at the 100 and have an opportunity to have a great third 50 and knock out a sub 220 200 freestyle. .31.55 by Addison Carlisle at the 50. 200 freestyle, an event of strength, speed, endurance, race strategy. One of the most complex events, but one of the ones that if you really place as a target, you can make relays that achieve junior national time standards, or national junior team or U.S. national teams by becoming good at the 200 freestyle or becoming ranked at the 200 freestyle.
Carlisle in lane 5, the leader at the halfway mark at a 107.70.
All right, who had the best 50 there? That was Olivia Ford at a 35.93. No, sorry, 35.75 over there. It looks like Rachel Garcia. All right, so we need a 35 split from somebody here to get sub 20. Who's going to pop off another 35 here? 35 split. Head down, heels over the top. 36.85 by Mila Hawkins down at the bottom of your screen. Or is it 36.59 from Maris Emmett outside smoke in lane 1?
Let's see, it looks like maybe lane 4 still hanging. Lane 4, Olivia Ford with the lead. Good charge here in lane 6. That's Rachel Garcia. And lane 3 coming on here on the back half, Marcotte.
Head down from the flags on in. Get that sub 20. Oh, right at it. 220.95.
Olivia Ford winning the consolation final. Lane 4, 220.95. Second place, Garcia in lane 6, 221.60. And third place went to lane 8, Hawkins, in time of 222.62. Championship final now. 11-12 girls, 200-meter freestyle. In lane 1, Lindsay Bowen, 11-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2, Jennifer Barajas, 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 3 is Emma Schumacher, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 4, Lil Ratzlaff, 12-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 5 is Lexi Ward, the 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6 is Reagan Graves, 12-year-old from Greenwood Gators. Lane 7, Katie Brenneman, 11-year-old from Concord Swim Club. And in lane 8, Avery Witt, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. Ratzlaff qualified number 1 in prelims, a time of 2:15.83. Couple old records here. Meet record goes back to 1999. It's 2:10.09, and then the association record all the way back to 1976. That time is 2:06.71.
Lil Ratzlaff's had a pretty good meet. There's 3 or 4 girls in here we've been calling consistently throughout the meet, but Lil just won the 50 breaststroke. Now in the freestyle, so short axis stroke transitioned into long axis. Keep an eye on Lexi Ward and Reagan Graves and Katie Brenneman. They've all had strong freestyle swims throughout the meet in one distance or another. So let's see how this race plays out. You're going down the lane assignments. It is Ratzlaff, Ward, Graves, and Brenneman in 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, those 4 are particularly 4, 5, and 6 out in front of everybody by more than the body length here as they get ready to make the turn at the 100-meter mark.
Coaches encourage the athletes to try not to take those breaths into the turn when you're in a tight race. It just dulls your momentum just into your turn, which makes the same result coming off. Right now, Lil Ratzlaff, 33.27, along with Lexi Ward, 33.27, but Reagan Graves was 33.02 on that split. Ratzlaff looks strong on this 50. Good fluid pulls, probably taking the least amount of strokes. A little breath into her turn, though. Let's see how that plays out. 34.30 by Ratzlaff, still the fastest swimmer in the pool on the third 50. Ward's got a little bit left in her tank, starting to pick up that tempo.
Ratzlaff in 4, Ward in 5. And the race is on now with less than 25 meters left. More tempo from Ward than Ratzlaff. And this is going to go to Lexi Ward in lane 5. Great last 50-meter swim for Lexi Ward in a time of 2:11.48. Second place, Lil Ratzlaff, 2:12.55. And third place, Reagan Graves in a time of 2:16.17. Big time drop for Ward there. (11-12) boys now, 200-meter freestyle. Consolation final. In lane 1, it's Arya Gokale, 12-year-old from Greenwood Gators. Lane 2, Misha Makavarani, 12-year-old from Club Olympia Swim Team. Lane 3, Ryan Neller, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 4, Elijah Hall, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 5, Corey Hand, 11-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6 is George Patterson, 11-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 7, Riley Leteach, 12-year-old from Riviera Swim Team. And in lane 8, it's Landon Holmes, the 12-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club.
AAA time standard 2:19.79. So again, that sub 220 mark, why that all comes into play. It's just those barriers sometimes with time standards. It just gets you to the next level. And it's just sometimes by going 0.99 instead of 0.0, believe it or not, a fast finish can get you from one step in the sport to another. All right, saw the young ladies break 220, or right at 220 in the consolation heat of the 11-12 200 free. They were out 107s at the 100. Top of your screen.
Go Kale.
From Greenwood. A lot of Greenwood swimmers in the pool tonight.
He and along with the swimmer in the floor, Elijah Hall, turning almost identically there.
Elijah Hall, 35.40, 107.1. He's out plenty fast enough. Looks like he was controlled. Gokale making a move out there.
Yeah, it looks like Gokale answered back after Hall had taken the lead away from him at the turn.
He's breathing out of his right side, so the only people he sees is the coaches. That's going to be scary. All right, taking over the lead, or back at the lead, is Elijah Hall at 36.63, 36.73 for Gokale. We need some good closing speed, guys. Got to be 35 or better on the way home here.
There's lots of swimmers in lanes 5, particularly in lane 5 right now. Corey Hand. Lane 6 on the move too, Patterson.
Well, Hall's lucky enough to have his right side breathing, but at the top of your screen again, Gokale.
Giving a run, Hall for a run for it to the finish. And it's going to go to Elijah Hall. 2:19.69. He breaks 2:20. Second place, Gokale. Almost got pulled to a sub 2:20. 2:20.21 for Gokale. Third place, Corey Hand with a 2:20.44. Championship final now. 11-12 boys, 200-meter freestyle. In lane 1, Luke Parsons, 12-year-old from Terre Haute Torpedoes. Lane 2, Gavin Coggin, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 3, Mason Cruz, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 4, Lewis Jang, 11-year-old from Cardinal Community Swim Club. Lane 5, Lucas Pagel, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 6, Toby Dollins, 12-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 7, Gabe Kazmierzik, 12-year-old from Elkhart United Aquatics. And lane 8, Cade Kennedy, the 12-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club. And Zhang, an 11-year-old, is the top qualifier in the time of 2:12.27. Meet record and association record set in 1998, time 2:03.29.
Lewis Zhang's kind of dominated the freestyle events from the 50 to the 100 to the 400. He had a nice prelim swim this morning. It'd be interesting to see Lucas Pagel. I mean, he's been the butterfly. What Lewis Zhang has done in freestyles, Pagel has done in the flies. It'll be interesting to see if any race develops here tonight. Out there in lane number 2, getting very aggressive on the way out is Gavin Coggin. He's right out with the leaders at the first 50, 30.09 for Lewis Zhang. So Zhang's searching for a 2:09. Nice thing talking to the coaches, Lewis's coaches. He's just starting into the sport. So he's got amazing potential.
And Zhang will lead by about a body length here at the 100-meter turn.
See what he splits here. Nice heels over the top by Zhang. 32.81, a 102.90. Pagel right there on his hip. Let's see if Pagel can answer here and give him a race.
You know, Pagel's got pretty good stamina. He swam the 200 butterfly, won that event.
Lewis Zhang looking strong as he goes into his third 50. You know, the interesting thing of watching, one of the things we haven't really talked about, most people don't think about it. You watch everything that happens on top of the water. He's a 33.84 split. Got a chance to break 210. Is on the breathing patterns, are the athletes exhaling underwater? Believe it or not, there's an awful lot of athletes that get caught up in a race environment. They half breathe out and half breathe in, and at the end of the race, their heart rate is zooming through the roof, and they start to get fatigued. So rhythmic in the stroke is also rhythmic with the breathing. And you're in a tight race here. How do you keep oxygen for the legs at the end of a race?
Lewis Zhang's going to win this event. 2:09.95, breaking 2:10. And Lucas Pagel second at 2:13.23, getting third up in lane 2, Gavin Coggin. So perhaps that strong start Tony talked about helps him to a third place finish in the time of 2:16.09.
You can see the guys when they turn to shake each other's hands, or they're kind of putting their elbows in the gutters right now. It's been a long weekend. The guys have spent it.
Continuing on with 200-meter freestyles. now. It's the 13-14 girls consolation final. In lane 1, Erin Cummings, 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2, Jillian Lynham, 14-year-old from SWAC. Lane 3, Claire Parsons, 14-year-old from Terre Haute Torpedoes. Lane 4 is Sam Hunter, 14-year-old from Goshen Swimming. Lane 5, Priscilla Zavala, 14-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 6, Madeline Porter, 14-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Her teammate is in lane 7, Aylin Zerline, a 13-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 8, Rachel Dildine, 13-year-old from the Duneland Swim Club.
A lot of these young 13-year-olds now transitioning from 11-12 into the 13-14 age group, and it is one of the toughest, particularly in our state. You know, these athletes range anywhere from state qualifiers to zone qualifiers to Olympic trial qualifiers in our 13-14 age group. So you're in this age group, you're in for, you know, rude awakening if you're not ready to put it out on the line every day in practice and stay focused on your goals. It's about improving, not about beating the person next to you, because if you continually improve through the process, you will beat a lot of people.
Yeah. You'll eventually catch that person next to you probably if you keep improving every time out.
Some really full poles out here in lane number 4. That's Sam Hunter. Goshen. Top of your screen, Erin Cummings from Carmel. Nice long turn in lane number 4 by Hunter. 33.49 her split. Again, working to break that 2:10 barrier. Speedo sectional time standard 2:11.89. Futures time standard 2:07.79. Every time you drop times and you achieve that next time standard, it opens doors for you. It opens doors to unique potential, better competition, opportunity to experience new environments. Wow, outside smoke at the bottom of our screen. Rachel Dildine, Duneland.
Lane 7 trying to come along with Dildine as well. That's Zerlini. I think the race here may be decided between those two, Zerlini in 7 and Dildine in 8.
Great back house by these two ladies. Right in front of you.
Good finish by Zerlini and gets it. Zerlini 2:11.18 winning the consolation final in lane 7. Dildine finishes second, 2:11.20. 2/100ths of a second difference there. Third place in lane 5, Zavala, 2:13.60. Championship final now. In lane 1, Sid Nethercutt, 14-year-old from North Virginia Swimming Association. Lane 2, Ashley Friel, 13-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 3, Megan Crispin, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Lily Christensen, 13-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 5 is Nalini Cortez, a 14-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 6, Vivian Wilson, a 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Casey McNulty, 14-year-old from Munster Swim Club. And in lane 8, Kate Mauser, the 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Christensen, the top seed. In prelims, she swam a 2:10.94. The 13-year-old did. The meet and association record set in 2014, 2:03.85.
Well, Lily broke quite a few records as an 11, 12-year-old. Interesting field. Megan Crispin, your junior national qualifier in the 100. Nalini Cortez, your winner in the 1500.
But Nalini did not swim the 1500 in finals tonight. She swam that in the prelims this morning, so perhaps a little more rest.
Well, we got a little added energy going here by the field. It looks like they are going out after it. Can't tell me they don't know who's in the lane next to them right now, because they are trying to play a racing game. When I say that, strategic, as we've talked about sometimes, is, you know, watching each other and building through the race and being comfortable and not worrying about being first to the wall. Everybody in this field wanted to be first to the wall. Always you're first to the last wall, right?
Well, right now it's Cortez who seems to be the leader in lane 5, the 1500 champion.
And smoothest stroke in the pool goes over there to Megan Crispin. Taking the least amount of strokes right now in the pool.
And Cortez, 1:02.20 the opening 100.
Christensen making a move. Christman making a move.
We'll see what Christensen does in lane 4. Was the top qualifier. Christman, I think, has overtaken Cortez.
See who's got the fastest 50 split here. Looks like 33.68 for Christman.
Yeah, nobody else under 34 seconds.
Oh.
Cortez come off that wall. Strong, though. Here comes Christensen now in 4. Christman still hanging on that lead in lane 3. Wilson coming on in 6-2. Can Cortez and Christensen get up to Christman here in the final couple meters here? I don't think so. Christman will take the win. Megan Christman goes a 2:08.20 to take the win in lane 3. In second place, Nalini Cortez, 2:09.32 in lane 5. Third place, Lily Christensen, 2:09.47.
Jumping over to the boys in the 200 free.
13-14 boys 200-meter freestyle consolation final. In lane 1, Colin Kamek, 13-year-old from Westfield Aquatics. Lane 2, Luke Smith, 14-year-old from Plainfield Community Aquatics. Lane 3, Colin Cosbate, 14-year-old from Duneland. Lane 4, Seth Cannon, 13-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 5, Easton Heiser, 14-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 6, William Ratchis, 14-year-old from Riviera Swim Team. Lane 7, Adam McCurdy, 14-year-old from Three Rivers Aquatic Club. And in lane 8, Colin Parker, the 14-year-old from Washington Township Swim Club.
Well, William Ratchis has had an outstanding meet. We've watched him really pull out some great swims at the end of his 200s, or the back half of his races. Now, look at the difference between how they approach in this field compared to the girls' final. Everybody is kind of being a little bit more strategic and smooth on this first 100. Let's see who shoots off the wall fast, jumps off that wall, and heads into this third 50. Now, again, we've seen some athletes that have picked up their tempo right here and powered into their turn, lane number 2. That's Luke Smith. He really attacked his wall 3 strokes before the wall. Seth Cannon and Easton Heiser in the middle of the pool. Luke Smith in the race out there in 2. Lane number 4, looks like he has the fastest split. That's Seth Cannon, 32.32. Looks like to be the fastest swimmer in the pool on that 50. Saved a little bit. You can see him coming off in the leg drive, kicking in.
Cannon in 4. You have Iser in 5, Ratchis in 6 here. Those 3 out in front of the rest of the field at this point.
Anybody can go sub 2:05 here or right at 2:05.
Looks like the win will go to Seth Cannon in lane 4. Winning time, 2:06.44. Second place, Heiser, 2:07.08. Third place, Ratchis in the time of 2:07.69. Championship final now. In lane 1, Dan Bennett, the 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 2, Owen Lindsay, 13-year-old from SWAC. Lane 3, Connor Carlisle, 14-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 4, Caden Lancaster, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5, Owen Dankert, the 14-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Bryce Scott, 14-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 7, A.J. Robertson, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Brody Friend, 14-year-old from Washington Township Swim Club. Caden Lancaster qualifying number 1 in prelims this morning at a time of 1:58.78. Meet record set in 2016 is 1:56.49. Association records also set in 2016, 1:53.47. So can Caden Lancaster get a 2-second drop here and challenge the meet record?
Not that far out of reach, 156.49. Association record 153, so 56 is doable. We've got a couple strong swimmers in the field with Bryce Scott and Owen Dankert as well. Right there in lane number 3.
Carlisle on 3.
Yeah, they finally switched it. I was looking at the scoreboard and I'm going, what? That didn't make any sense. It was a different cap than corresponded with the name. 26.88 for Lancaster on the way out. Looks like Dankert's the one that might have a little bit of speed to challenge, get on the hip of Lancaster. Lancaster takes the least amount of, very powerful. Take a look at the angle of his fingertips pointing towards the bottom, high elbows underwater. People always talk about high elbows on top of the water. Well, high elbows on underneath the water is what gets you to where you want to go.
Out in a 59.25 or 56.25 for Lancaster. 56.25.
He's got to come home right at double O, low double O. Can he do it? Got to be a 29. He was 29.3 there. Can he pop another 29 or right at 30.00 here? May pick up his second win of the night. 800 freestyle and 200 freestyle. Let's see what he splits here into his wall. We've seen him have great swim. 30.06. He is on it. We've seen him finish off his races really strong. It's a 156.49 he's shooting for.
Wyatt Davis holds the record. 25 meters to go for Caden Lancaster here in the 200-meter freestyle, trying to break a record. He's going to win the race. There's no question about that. Good race behind him.
He's got to put his head down to get into, pick up that tempo into the wall. He does.
What's going to be the clock?
156.28.
Got it, 156.28. Meet record for Caden Lancaster here in the 13-14 boys 200 freestyle. So he does get that more than 2-second time drop to get the meet record. Second place, Connor Carlisle in lane 3, 2:01.36. And third place, Bryce Scott in lane 6 with 2:02.64.
Here we go from the 200 free to the 50 backstroke. Interesting lineup.
We'll move back down to the far end of the pool. 11-12 girls 50-meter backstroke, one length of the pool here. Consolation final in lane 1, Annabelle Swinney, 12-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 2 will be Addison Carlisle, 11-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 3, Allison Norman, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 4, Molly Billings, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 5 is Braley Brown, 12-year-old from the Port Community Turbos. Lane 6, Nicole Fant, 12-year-old from Jasper Aquatic Wildcats. Lane 7, Annika Carpenter, 12-year-old from the Otters swim team. And in lane 8, Trinity Parkin, 12-year-old from Westfield Aquatics.
Athletes down at the other end of the pool. If you're watching what they're doing with their hands, they're taking those backstroke wedges, which are on a recoil straps. As soon as they leave the wall, they kick back up into the attachment that's on the starting block. So they have a firm grip with their feet, get a much stronger push off and lead into their underwater racing. Billings looks like she's out strong in 4th. Tightening up right here. Too close to call.
See who out touches who. It's Molly Billings in lane 4 from Duneland, 34.28 to the 34.31, who finishes 34.31 for Braley Brown, who finishes second in lane 5. Third place in lane 3 was Norman at a time of 34.74. Championship final in lane 1, Bella Tufts, 12-year-old from Crown Point Swim Club. Lane 2, Audrey Simmons, 12-year-old Howard County Aquatics. Lane 3, Chloe Vidito, 12-year-old from Newcastle Swim Club. Lane 4, Avery Witt, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 5, Amanda Abdullah, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. Lane 6, Elena Bryson, 12-year-old from Michiana Stars. Lane 7 is Kiara Johnson, 12-year-old from Greenwood Gators. And lane 8, Jennifer Barajas, the 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Witt's the top qualifier in prelims from a time of 33.62. Meeting association record set last year by Ripley Merritt, 30.93.
Well, 4 young ladies with about 0.2 of a second separation between the two. That can be anything from reaction time off a starting block to a breakout underwater to a swimming into the wall without any hesitation into your finish. Okay. Great athletic start. When I say athletic motion, almost like a back bend or a back flip into the start. Over here was lane number 6. It's Elena Bryson from Stars. Probably had the best reaction time off the block and the most power from the block. Let's see if she can carry it all the way through the 50. 3, Chloe Vitito, Newcastle.
Vitito, good open water swim here. And is going to take the win here. And a time of 32.48 for Vitito in lane 3. Second place, Bryson, 33.09 in lane 6. And third place, Avery Witt, and a time of 33.23 in lane 4. 11-12 boys 50-meter backstroke consolation final. Lane 1, Anderson Kopp, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2, Caden Spildy, 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 3, Caleb Kuntz, 12-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 4, Lewis Jang, 11-year-old from Cardinal Community. Lane 5, Henry Linus, 11-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic Club. Lane 6, Tommy Johansson, 12-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 7, Jason Staradub, 11-year-old from SWAC Swim Team. And in lane 8, David Kovacs, a 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club.
Looks like we're flipping Louis Zhang over on his back here. Let's see if he's as good on his back as he is on his front. Not a bad start. Very athletic move by Louis Zhang here to learn how to kick underwater just like lane number 5. Henry Linus looked really strong off that underwater racing into his breakout, into his first 3 strokes, keeping his head high and his tempo high. But that's 35 meters. We got to race to 50. Outside smoke at the bottom of our screen.
And that's Kovacs. Zhang trying to power through at the finish here. Kovacs in lane 8 gets the win, though, from the Indiana Swim Club, 34.14. Zhang got second in lane 4, 34.21. Third place, Linus in lane 5, 34.71. That brings us to the championship final now. 11-12 boys, 50-meter backstroke. In lane 1, Toby Dollins, 12-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 2 is Carter Hadley, 11-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3, Vincent Howe, 12-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic Club. Lane 4, Carter Lancaster, the 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. He set meeting association records in prelims this morning. Lane 5, Jay Stewart, 12-year-old from Franklin Regional Swim Team. Lane 6, Zach Verveleed, 12-year-old from Lake Central Barracudas. In lane 7, Leo Nee, the 11-year-old from Irish Aquatics. And in lane 8, Jackson Parrish, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Carter in the prelims this morning, Carter Lancaster from the Carmel Swim Club. The new meeting association record set that time of 29.48 this morning.
Lancaster looked like he went just a hair sideways off that dive and breakout. Doesn't seem to affect him to be first to the 25-meter mark.
Just by almost a body length.
29.48. The record, looks like to be way ahead of that.
Going to break it 2 times in one day. It sure is. 29.08 for Carter Lancaster, the new Meeting Association record in this event, the 50-meter backstroke. Second place, Jay Stewart, goes at 32.11. Third place, Vincent Howe, 32.64. Awards break up now. And we'll turn things over to Mike Miles here in a moment. As we'll hand out the awards, 11, 12-year-olds, 200 freestyle, 13, 14-year-olds, 200 freestyle, and 11, 12-year-olds in the 50 backstroke. And then it'll be time for the relays to wrap up the meet. Let's take a look at the combined team scores. Carmel Swim Club well out in front right now, 2,386 points. Second place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, 1,319.5 points. Top two kind of separated themselves above everybody else, but a good battle behind that, though. Duneland is in third with 858 points. Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers, fourth, 854.5 points. Fort Wayne Swim Team, fifth, 754. SWAC is sixth, 627. On through the rest of the top 10, Riviera seventh, 482. Indiana Swim Club eighth with 461. Concord ninth with 426, and you have Franklin Regional Swim Team in 10th with 399 points in the combined team scores.
I'd say if we're looking at some of the teams that have had some outstanding meets, obviously we've got the Lancaster boys and some great swims out of the all Carmel boys and girls. The Fishers Area Swimming Tigers just seem to be deep with some young men and some young women. I mean, some new break on the scene type young men. I mean, they're really good aerobically, and they're going to physically grow into their bodies at some point. So there's a lot of new faces on it. And we looked at, was it Garcia, who was second in the 2 fly, for example, just a little guy, but man, does he have a big heart. Man, did he have some big drive at the end of that fly. Duneland Swim Club, coached by Jim Voss over there from up in the region. Just it's always somebody new. It's just like you never just say, well, it's just one guy. There's not Kyle Whitaker there anymore. So interesting approach. Just a lot of people contributing.
In 8th place from Carmel Swim Club, Lindsey Bowen. 7th from Southeastern Swim Club, Avery Witt. 6th place from Munster Swim Club, Jennifer Barajas. 5th place from Concord Swim Club, Katie Brenneman. 4th from Fast Tigers, Emma Schumacher. Here now the top 3. In 3rd place from Greenwood Gators, Reagan Graves. Placing 2nd for Franklin Regional, Lil Ratzliff. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion at 11 and 12 girls 200 freestyle, Lexi Ward from Carmel, 2:11.48. And now the award presentation. 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle. In 8th place from Valparaiso Swim Club, Cade Kennedy. In 7th from Elkhart United Aquatics, Gabe Kesermek. 6th place from Terre Haute Torpedoes, Luke Parsons. 5th from Zionsville Swim Club, Toby Dolans. Fourth for Fort Wayne swim team, Mason Cruz. And now the top three. In third place from Brownsburg Swim Club, Kevin Coggin. Second place, Indiana Swim Club, Lucas Pagel. And in 2019, Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle, Cardinal Community Swim Club, Lewis Zhang, in a time of 2:09.95. Now the award presentation, 13-14 girls, 200 free. And eighth place for Munster Swim Club, Casey McNulty. Seventh place for Northridge area, Sid Nethercutt. Sixth from Indiana Swim Club, Ashley Friel. Fifth from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Kate Mauser. Fourth, Carmel Swim Club, Vivian Wilson. Here now the top three. Third place from Irish Aquatics, Lily Christensen. Second from Club Olympia, Nalini Cortez. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 free from Carmel, Megan Chrisman, in a time of 2:08.28. 2:08.20 rather. 2:08.20. One last time, I want to remind parents, if you have a swimmer that's going to be signing up to compete in the zone meet in Fargo next week, you have until midnight tonight to go onto the Team Indiana website and order the equipment, shirts and such for your athlete for Fargo for next week. Again, that site's going to come down at midnight tonight. Stop by, see the folks at the registration table in the upper concourse if you have any questions. And now the award presentation. 13-14 boys, 200 free. We had a tie for seventh place between Dan Bennett of Fast Tigers and Owen Lindsay of SWAC. Sixth place, Washington Township, Brody Friend. Fifth place, Carmel, A.J. Robertson. Fourth for Fort Wayne Swim Team, Owen Dankart. Now the medal presentation for the top three. In third place from Newland Swim Club, Bryce Scott. Second place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Connor Carlisle. And a 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 boys, 200 freestyle from Carmel, Caden Lancaster. And a new meet record-setting time, 1:56.28, 58th on the top 100 all-time list. Now the presentation, 11 and 12 girls, 50 backstroke. And in 8th place from Greenwood Gators, Kiara Johnson. 7th from Munster Swim Club, Jennifer Barajas. 6th place from Crown Point, Bella Tufts. 5th from Lake Central Barracudas, Amanda Abdullah. 4th from Howard County Aquatics, Aubrey Simmons. Medal presentation for the top 3. In 3rd place from Southeastern Swim Club, Avery Witt. 2nd from Michiana Stars, Elena Bryson. And your 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion in 11 and 12 girls 50 back from Newcastle Swim Club, Chloe Vitito, in a time of 32.48. And now our final presentation here in this awards break, 11 and 12 boys, 50 backstroke. In 8th place from Irish Aquatics, Leo Nye. 7th from Fort Wayne Swim Team, Jackson Parrish. 6th from Zionsville Swim Club, Toby Dolans. 5th from Carmel Swim Club, Carter Hadley. 4th from Lake Central Barracuda, Zach Verveled. And in the top 3, 3rd place, Center Grove Aquatic Club, Vincent Howe. 2nd, Franklin Regional Swim Team, Jay Stewart. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion at 11 and 12 boys, 50 backstroke from Carmel, establishing a new meet and Indiana Association record with a swim this evening of a 29:08, Carter Lancaster.
So that'll wrap up the awards break here. We're ready to close out the meet with relays. We've got the 13, 14-year-olds in the 400-meter freestyle relay and the 11, 12-year-olds in the 200-meter freestyle relay. We've got one-time final, 4th and final heat of time finals, 13, 14 girls 400-meter freestyle relay. Meet and association record set in 2012 by the Carmel Swim Club, 3:56.96. Your lane assignments in this 4th and final heat of time finals. In lane 1, Fort Wayne Swim Team A, led off by Lexi Jankowski. Lane 2, SWAC A, led off by Adriana German. Lane 3, Duneland A, led off by Rachel Dildine. Lane 4, Carmel A, led off by Aaron Cummins. Lane 5, Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers A, led off by Audrey Crawford. Lane 6, Irish Aquatics A, led off by Kaya Podlin. Lane 7 will be Newburgh Sea Creatures A with Aylin Zerlini on leadoff. And Lane 8, Carmel Swim Club B with Parker Kurzawa on leadoff. Time to beat from morning prelims. Indiana Swim Club hosted a 4:11.83. Final race of the competition for the 13-14 girls here. Each swimmer will swim 100 meters on freestyle. All right, we're underway.
On paper, Carmel and Southeastern look relatively close. Carmel's record of 3:56.96 set back in 2012 is one of the toughest to beat. Averaging every athlete under a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep an eye on the relay exchanges. Yeah, the relays with the most athletic moves. In other words, athletes that are ready to commit with that body motion, throwing it out over the water with a little toe on the block when the fingertip is on the touchpad. Got to trust the person in the water is going to drive in on a finish.
Yeah, looks like Irish Aquatics A with the lead in lane 6. Take a look at the number 2 legs. Fort Wayne A, L.A. Parrish. For SWAC A, Jillian Lynham. For Dunlin A, Anna Wheel. For Carmel A, Vivian Wilson. For Southeastern A, Grace Newton. For Irish A, Abby Winsick. For Newburgh Sea Creatures A, Madeline Porter. And for Carmel B, Ari Steeper.
Fort Wayne Aquatics, Fort Wayne swim team, the top of your screen, lane 1. Look like we're 3 deep in 4, 5, and 6. Carmel, Southeastern, and Irish.
Yeah, lane 7 coming on too, Newburgh Sea Creatures.
It's pretty noticeable, the athletes that are swimming strong second 50s. Into the wall even. Third 25 explosive.
It's like Carmel taking over the lead at the tail end of the second leg. Let's take a look at our number 3 swimmers. For Fort Wayne A, Chloe Hogue. For SWAC A, Sydney Korn. For Dunlin A, Jordan Alders. For Carmel A, Barrett Berglund. For Southeastern A, Molly Robinson. For Irish A, Cece Farrell. For Newburgh Sea Creatures A, Chloe Plank. And for Carmel B, Sydney Warnicki.
Barrett Berglund had one heck of an exchange. Not only just the timing, but she just popped off the blocks. Lead was extended just off the relay exchange, the dive, and the breakout.
Carmel A opening up a sizable lead here as we get ready to hand things over to the anchor legs. The battle for second, lane 5, Southeastern, and lane 7, Newburgh Sea Creatures. Let's take a look at the anchor leg swimmers. For Fort Wayne A, Natalie Marshall. For SWAC A, Ripley Merritt. For Dunlin A, Sierra Jones. For Carmel A, Megan Christman. Southeastern A, Ashley Sapple. Irish Aquatics A, Lily Christensen. For Newburgh Sea Creatures A, Ava Butterfield. And for Carmel B, it'll be Alyssa Street.
Carmel came in at a 2:59.92 with Christman on the end as a junior national qualifier in the 100 freestyle, and she had an outstanding relay exchange. Wouldn't count out that record just yet.
3:56.96 is the record.
She's got to come home a 29-second 50 freestyle on this last leg to get that record. It's an association and a meet record. Wow, great swim out here in lane number 7, as well as Newburgh Sea Creatures with a great anchor leg swim.
Here comes Carmel A in lane 4. They're going to win this event in a winning time of 3:58.29 for Carmel A. Great battle for second, lanes 5, 6, and 7. Who's going to get this? It's going to be Southeastern A. No, we got a tie. Southeastern A and Irish Aquatics A in lanes 5 and 6 in a time of 4:06.24. Don't see that very often. A tie in the 400-meter freestyle relay. (13-14) boys 400-meter freestyle relay now. Third and final heat of time finals. Lane assignments in lane 1, Riviera A, led off by Carter Brains. Lane 2, Dunlin A, led off by Gavin Nagdeman. Lane 3, Zionsville A, Gabe Berry on leadoff. Lane 4, Carmel A, led off by Nicholas Plum. Lane 2, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, led off by Connor Carlisle. Lane 6, Washington Township A, led off by Brody Friend. Lane 7, Carmel B, led off by Brandon Malicki. Lane 8, SWAC A, led off by Noah Welter. Your meet and association record set in 2016 by the Carmel Swim Club, 3:38.98. Morning's prelim swims. It was track A, Three Rivers Aquatic Club A with a time of 4:07.18, the best time this morning.
3:38.98. It's averaging 54-second hundreds. Nicholas Plum, your leadoff leg for Carmel. Like out here in lane number 6, Washington Township. They had a nice relay in the 200. They went fastest to slowest. Let's see how they do the strategy in their 400 free relay.
They'll have the lead at the exchange. Let's take a look at the number 2 legs for Riviera A, Patton Shar. For Dunlin A, Colin Cospade. For Zionsville A, Malcolm Slater. For Carmel A, KJ Sweeney. For Fishers Area A, Dan Bennett. For Washington Township A, Jack Stedham. For Carmel B, Brandon Trin. And for SWAC A, Noah Van Zweedam.
It's like Fishers Area Swimming Tigers in the hunt now.
Yeah,
Washington Township.
4, 5, and 6 still pretty much right together. Carmel A in 4, Fishers Area A in 5, and Washington Township A in 6. As Carmel and Fishers Area separate themselves a little bit. Let's take a look at the number 3 swimmers. For Riviera A, William Ratches. For Dunlin A, Scotty Pajic. For Zionsville A, Wyatt Sealer. For Carmel A, A.J. Robertson. For Fishers Area A, Keaton Chop. For Washington Township A, Liam Fahey. For Carmel B, Quinn Sweeney. And for SWAC A, Austin McGrogan. A.J. Robertson opening up things a little bit for Carmel A. They take more than a body length lead over Fishers Area. Swimming Tigers A team in 5. Let's take a look at the anchor legs for Riviera A. Chance Buckles. For Dunlin A, Bryce Scott. For Zionsville A, Easton Heiser. For Carmel A, Caden Lancaster. For Fishers Area A, Louis Henderson. For Washington Township A, Colin Parker. For Carmel B, Alex Russo. And for SWAC A, Owen Lindsay.
Dunlin with a nice relay exchange up there at the top of your screen in lane 2.
Again, there's that tight battle for third.
Well, tight battle for the, when you say third, I think tight battle, were you talking about the team championship or third here?
Both.
Both, right? Caden Lancaster with a strong anchor leg here. Come in a little short of the meet record, but great swims across the board for our 13-14 boys.
And Carmel Swim Club A will win this final heat of time finals. 13-14 boys 400-meter freestyle relay in a time of 3:41.71. Second place, Fishers Area A at a time of 3:49.37. And that battle for third right to the walls. Dunlin going to hang on and get it. No, we got another tie. Another tie between Dunlin A and Zionsville A for third.
2 heats in a row.
3:55.33. 2 heats in a row. We see a tie in the 400-meter freestyle relay. Move on now to the third and final heat of time finals, 11-12 girls 200-meter freestyle relay. In lane 1, Center Grove Aquatic Club A, led off by Clara Brandon. In lane 2, SWAC A, led off by Ruby Stump. Lane 3, Greenwood Gators A, led off by Olivia Ford. Lane 4, Carmel A, led off by Molly Sweeney. Lane 5, Fishers Area A, led off by Rachel Garcia. Lane 6, Zionsville A, led off by Avery Christian. Lane 7, Sugar Creek A, led off by Morris Emmert. Lane 8 is Carmel B, led off by Kayla Barr. Meeting association record set in 2010. Southeastern Swim Club 155.14. Best time for the morning is posted by Dunlin A, 2:03. So each swimmer will swim 50 meters here. We'll use both sets of starting blocks on each end. Good breakout by lane 3 here, the Greenwood Gators, Olivia Ford. Looks like they probably take the lead to the second leg. Let's take a look at our number 2 swimmers for Center Grove A. Ferguson, for SWAC A. Straight, for Greenwood Gators A. Johnson, for Carmel A. It's Bowen, for Fishers Area A. Carlisle, for Zionsville A. Lindemann, for Sugar Creek A. It's Schmitz or Torbert, and for Carmel B it'll be Powers.
Greenwood Gators still with a pretty strong lead here heading into the third leg.
Coming on strong though in lane 5 here, Fishers Area A. Let's take a look at the number 3 swimmers for Center Grove A. Fisher, for SWAC A. Tonsel, for Greenwood Gators A. Harley, for Carmel A. Irizarry, for Fishers Area A. Parker, Zionsville A. Metzger, for Sugar Creek A. Melvage, and for Carmel B. Clark.
It's like Fishers and Carmel, the relay exchanges and just great breakouts. Put them right back into contention for first.
Yep, battling the Greenwood Gators, those two teams are. Let's take a look at the anchor legs for Center Grove Aquatic A. DeLuna, for SWAC A. Whistle, for Greenwood Gators A. Graves, for Carmel A. Ward, for Fishers Area A. Schumacher, for Zionsville A. Swinney, for Sugar Creek A. Hessler, and for Carmel B. Thomas.
Wow, great anchor leg over there in lane number 3. It looks like Reagan Graves coming on strong. May run out of pool, though.
I think so, as Lexi Ward is going to power Carmel to the win here. Carmel A in a winning time of 1:58.14 for Carmel A. Second place, Fishers Area A at a time of 1:59.32. Third place, good swim by Greenwood Gators A at a time of 1:59.62. And our last swim of this event, 11-12 boys, 200-meter freestyle relay. Third and final heat of team time finals. In lane 1, SWAC A led off by Hayden Lynham. Lane 2, Center Grove Aquatic Club A led off by Cameron Cox. Lane 3, Zionsville A led off by Caleb Kuntz. Lane 4, Carmel A led off by Carter Hadley. Lane 5, Fort Wayne Swim Team A led off by Ryan Neller. Lane 6, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A led off by Eduardo Sanchez. Lane 7, Brownsburg A led off by Elijah Hall. And in lane 8, Indiana Swim Club A led off by Lucas Pagel. Meet and association records, an old record for a relay. Goes back to 1998. It's 1:55.36. Top time from morning swims. Looks like Cardinal A with a 2:04.07.
You know, this is one that I questioned from our archives. 155 is from 1998. May have been good in 1998. I think our guys, somebody's going to get it in this heat. I'd be surprised if we don't smoke this record. That's 29s across the board.
Yeah, perhaps the record stood too long. Needs to go down tonight.
All right. Center Grove going after it.
Let's take a look at the number 2 swimmers for SWAC A. Wolin, for Center Grove A. Quadros, for Zionsville A. Klein, for Carmel A. Wright, for Fort Wayne A. Parrish, for Fishers Area A. Herbert, for Brownsburg A. Hart, and for Indiana Swim Club A. Kovacs.
Lane number 6.
Fishers Area. Herbert got off the blocks good on that exchange.
Bottom of our screen, we missed that one.
Lane 8 too.
Indiana Swim Club.
Kovacs. Let's take a look at the number 3 swimmers for SWAC A. Stardup, for Center Grove A. Linus, for Zionsville A. Hinshaw, for Carmel A. Hand, for Fort Wayne A. Cruz, for Fishers Area A. Johanneman, and for Brownsburg A. Barnes, and for Indiana Swim Club A. Cadlick.
Well, I'd say if you got Carter Lancaster on the end, you got an ace in the hole here, but it looks like Fort Wayne is really trying to put the pedal to the metal here.
Anchor leg, SWAC A, Hibisky, for Center Grove Aquatic A. Howe, Zionsville A. Dollins, Carmel A. Carter Lancaster, Fort Wayne A. Marshall, Fishers Area A. Lee, Brownsburg A. Coggin, and for Indiana A. Jackson.
I'd be surprised if this record falls right here.
Meet record 1:55.36. Here comes Carter Lancaster with 25 meters to go. Fans on their feet here. Carter Lancaster has made a habit of breaking records this weekend. Can he do it one more time?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. 1:54.06 for Carmel Swim Club A. They break a 1998 meet record in the 11-12 boys 200-meter freestyle relay.
And association.
Yeah, association too, 154.06. Second place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, 158.69. And third place, Fort Wayne A in lane 5, 159.13. So we're going to have the final awards break. Awards recognitions for the relays you just saw here. Then we'll wrap the meet up this weekend here from the IU Natatorium. Mike Miles will be along with the awards presentations here shortly, the voice of the pool deck. While we got a second, we'll thank our crew here this evening. We on camera this evening, we had Teresa Geisler, Griffin Hadley, and Ryan Conley. And of course we had Adrian Jarding, who helped us out with a little interview with the meet director, one of the meet directors during the 1500. That was Keely Underhill. He had that interview with, and then he moved down to seat Adrian Judd and ran the production truck for us, switching our cameras and adding the graphics for the remainder of the broadcast this evening. So thanks to all those individuals for their hard work here this evening and all weekend long here at the IU Natatorium. Final awards break here at the 2019 Indiana Swimming Age Group Long Course Championship, sponsored by Speedo and Hendricks Regional Health. We've seen some of the fastest times ever swum in the nation in age group swimming here this weekend at the IU Natatorium. Historically fast times posted here this weekend. So Mike Miles comes along shortly with the awards presentation. Then we'll have high point award winners and team scores as well here before we wrap the broadcast up.
And now the award presentation, 13-14 girls, 400 freestyle relay. In 8th place, SWAC Swim Team A, German, lineman, Kern, and Merritt. 7th, Carmel B, Kurzawa, Steiber, Wernicke, and Street. 6th place, Dunlin, Dildine, Wheel, Alders, and Jones. 5th place, Jankowski, Parrish, Hogue, and Marshall. 4th place, Newburgh Sea Creatures, Zerlini, Porter, Plank, and Butterfield. And now your top three. We had a tie for second between Southeastern Swim Club and Irish Aquatic. For Southeastern, Audrey Crawford, Grace Newton, Molly Robinson, and Ashley Sapel. And for Irish Aquatics, Kaya Podlin, Abby Weinsek, Cece Farrell, and Lily Christensen. In the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions, 13-14 girls, 400 freestyle relay. Carmel Swim Club, the A relay, Aaron Cummins, Vivian Wilson, Brett Berglund, and Megan Chrisman in a time of 3:58.29. Award presentation now, 13-14 boys, 400 freestyle relay. Eighth place, Three River Aquatic A, Hamas, Eddie, Foot, and McCurdy. 7th, Riviera A, Bramus, Shar, Rachis, and Buckles. 6th place, Carmel B, Malicki, Trin, Sweeney, and Russo. 5th place, Washington Township A, Friend, Stedman, Fahey, and Parker. We had a tie for third between Zionsville Swim Club and Dunlin. For Zionsville, Gabe Berry, Malcolm Slater, Wyatt Seiler, and Easton Heiser. And for Dunlin, Gavin Nagdeman, Colin Cospade, Scotty Pajek, and Bryce Scott. In second place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, Carter Carlisle, Dan Bennett, Keaton Chop, Louis Henderson. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions, 13-14 boys, 400 freestyle relay, Carmel Swim Club A, Nicholas Plum, KJ Sweeney, AJ Robertson, and Caden Lancaster in a time 3:41.71. Congratulations, guys. Our next award presentation, 11 and 12 girls, 200 freestyle relay. In 8th place, Southeastern Swim Club, A. Hoyk, Witt, Lamy, and Willard. 7th, Center Grove, A. Brandon, Ferguson, Fisher, and DeLuna. 6th place, Dunlin A, Koloski, Norman, Billings, and Henderson. 5th place, Carmel A, Barr, Powers, Clark, and Thomas. 4th, Zionsville A, Christian, Lindemann, Metzer, and Swinney. And now here are the top 3. In 3rd place, Greenwood Gators, Olivia Ford, Kiara Johnson, Morgan Harley, and Reagan Graves. 2nd place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Rachel Garcia, Addison Carlisle, Via Parker, Emma Schumacher. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions in 11 and 12 girls, 200 freestyle relay. Carmel Swim Club A, Molly Sweeney, Lindsay Bowen, Savannah Irizarry, and Lexi Ward in a time of 1:58.14. And the award presentation now for 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle relay. In 8th place, Carmel B, Ladine, Zhang, Kopp, and Welch. 7th, Indiana Swim Club A, Pagel, Kovacs, Kedlick, and Jackson. 6th place, Zionsville A, Kuntz, Klein, Hinshaw, and Dolans. 5th place, Center Grove A, Cox, Quadros, Laness, and Howe. 4th place, Brownsburg A, Hall, Hart, Barnes, and Coggin. And now the top 3. In 3rd place, Fort Wayne Swim Team A, Ryan Neller, Jackson Parrish, Mason Cruz, and Nate Marshall. Second place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, Eduardo Sanchez, Victor Herbert, Tommy Gentleman, and Hudson Lee. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions in 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle relay. Carmel Swim Club A, setting a new meet and Indiana Association record with their swim of a 154.06. And we're just about ready to do individual high point and team awards. Once I know Tony Young is down here. Where are my Carmel Awards? Where are my Carmel Awards people? You guys ready for high point? Yo, yo, yo. In the house. We've lost control. I can't believe it. Are they going to do the awards over here instead of out here? Ready now for individual high point recognition, and 11 and 12 girls in third place with 102 points from Greenwood Gators, Reagan Graves. And we had a tie for individual high point between Lil Ratzliff of Franklin Regional and Lexi Ward of Carmel with 114 points. So 11 and 12 girls individual high point. Lexi and Lil over there. We'll get a saw. We're going to cut the award in half. Not really. We'll have more made. In 11 and 12 boys individual high point, we had a tie for third place between Louis Sang of Cardinal Swim Club and Jay Stewart of Franklin Regional with 101 points. Second was Lucas Pagel of Indiana Swim Club with 106, and your 11 and 12 high point male from Carmel, Carter Lancaster, with 120 points. In 13-14 girls high point, in third place, Lily Christensen from Irish Aquatics with 98 points. Second place, Nalini Cortez from Club Olympia with 102. And your 13-14 high point girl from Fast Tigers, Joe Ramey in a time with 114 points. How about that? It's hard to break old habits after 3 days. 114 points. JoJo Ramey, your 13-14 high point female. In 13-14 boys high point, third place is A.J. Robertson from Carmel with 97 points. Second place, Brady Byer from Club Olympia with 111. And your 13-14 high point male from Carmel, Caden Lancaster with 114 points. Congratulations. In 11 and 12 girls team awards, in third place, Greenwood Gators with 240 points. Second place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers with 372 points. And your 11 and 12 girls team score champions, Carmel Swim Club with 465 and 1/2 points. In 11 and 12 boys team scoring, third place, Fort Wayne Swim Team with 244, Brownsburg second with 280, and Carmel Swim Club with 383 points. So these are the 11 and 12 boys from Carmel. (13-14) girls team scores. Third place, Irish Aquatics with 255 points. Second place, Southeastern Swim Club with 323. And 13-14 girls team champions, Carmel, with 765 points. (13-14) girls. Well, 13-14 boys, third place, Duneland with 260. Fast Tigers with 417 and 1/2 points. And 13-14 boys team champions, Carmel Swim Club with 744 points. All right, in combined team scoring, in 10th place, Irish Aquatics with 411, Concord 9th with 438 points. 8th place, Riviera with 518 points. Indiana Swim Club with 521. 6th place, SWAC with 681. 5th place, Fort Wayne with 826. 4th place, Southeastern Swim Club with 909 and 1/2 points. 3rd place, Duneland Swim Club with 949. 2nd place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers with 1,447 and 1/2 points. And the 2019 Indiana Age Group Long Course champions, combined team score champions, Carmel Swim Club with 2,664 points. Congratulations to Carmel. But they're all gone.
So that wraps up our coverage here this weekend on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel. The 2019 Indiana Swimming Age Group Long Course Championships, sponsored by Speedo and Hendricks Regional Health from the IU Natatorium here on the campus of IU PUI in downtown Indianapolis. We hope you enjoyed our coverage this weekend. I'm Eric Eaton saying so long, and also for Tony Young, the Executive Director of Indiana Swimming, I'm Eric Eaton now saying so long, everyone, and thanks for watching.